podcast which you are about to listen to is an account of the tragedy which befell a group of 4 youths, Amon, Andrew, Jet, and Patrick. It is all the more tragic in that they were young. But had they lived very, very long lives, they could not have expected, nor would they have wished to see as much of the mad and macabre as they were to see that day. There was language and content that may not have been suitable for younger audiences. Spoilers for anime were brought up like they were common knowledge. Opinions that reflected the views of the individual participants and not the Dub Talk podcast as a whole were expressed. For them, an idyllic spring recording session became a nightmare. The events of that day were to lead to the discovery of one of the most bizarre crimes in the annals of anime history. Good evening, listeners, and welcome to a very special episode of Dub Talk. We are coming upon an episode that is years in the making, and by years in the making, I mean years of me delusionally fantasizing about it happened until it actually happened, and I was more shocked than anyone. Because tonight, we're recording a small, obscure indie anime you may have heard of. It's called Chainsaw Man. It was marginally popular recently when it came out. Caused a few waves. Maybe just a little. Just a little.
Yeah, I think I vaguely remember that show.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of legs on it. It wasn't immediately forgotten after the season ended.
Only a little. I'm sure nobody has any strong feelings or opinions about this series at all. No.
No idiotic petitions were started about it. No, sirree, Bob.
This is gonna be a quick episode, in and out, 30 minutes.
Absolutely. Maybe our record for shortest episode. Because this obscure little show got a dub, and we are going to talk about it. And by we, I mean me, Amon. I'm your host for this evening, and joining me from left to right on my screen, we have Andrew.
Howdy there.
Jet.
Chainsaw.
It's very funny to me that music doesn't actually show up in the show itself. It's just for the trailer.
Yeah, I'm so upset that wasn't in the show.
It's too on the nose. Because, the show's extremely subtle. And Patrick.
Demon in the name of devil.
Demon in the name of devil. Demon in the name of devil. Okay.
If there hasn't been at least one metal show poster that has stolen some clip art from Chainsaw Man already, I'll be shocked. So yeah, we're going to talk about the dub produced by Crunchyroll for Chainsaw Man. Hi listeners, this is Amon from after we recorded this episode. I forgot to give you a description of what Chainsaw Man is about. So on the off chance you don't know what Chainsaw Man is about, here's a description from Crunchyroll's website. Denji is a young boy who works as a devil hunter with the chainsaw devil, Pochita. One day, as he was living his miserable life trying to pay off the debt he inherited from his parents, he got betrayed and killed. As he was losing his consciousness, he made a deal with Pochita and got resurrected as the Chainsaw Man, the owner of the devil's heart. Shit goes wild from there. Keep your ears peeled for a joke we make later about how I forgot to do this while we were recording the episode. See you then. Bye. Back to your regularly scheduled program. Now, I realize Chainsaw Man is new because it's only, 4 years old at this point?
Somewhere in the whereabouts.
Yeah, I know, Andrew and Jet, both of you are reading it currently. When did you get into it? Were you there at the beginning, or did you, pick it up later?
I was there at the beginning, I think... Because that was... They started Chainsaw Man, right as we, as Shonen Jump was starting their new method.
I got a subscription to read Chainsaw Man, because I've been on the fence for years, because I didn't read anything regularly enough to make that whole digital magazine thing worth it. I would basically have to, sit on it for 4 months until, the My Hero print publication caught up with it. So I had an excuse, I got it, and literally the next week they announced they were going to be switching to the a la carte method that they do now.
Wow. Meanwhile, I'm just that guy who's been subscribing to Jump. I think Probably since the tail end of the print run, so yeah, needless to say, I was on Chainsaw Man from the beginning.
So I actually kind of have a funny story with my relationship with Chainsaw Man.
Do tell.
So I had been subscribing to Weekly Shonen Jump for a while, and I kept seeing messages on Twitter one week about, oh hey, so where did this chapter of Chainsaw Man go? I can't find it in the app. I can't find it in the app.
No.
And it's just like, oh, for some reason, this is now online only. So I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to go online. I'm going to take a look at this chapter, and I'm going to see what it's all about. I see what this is all about now.
So, nothing... okay.
And I'm not going to give any of you listeners context. If you know, you know.
Part of me wants to say it, part of me doesn't. It doesn't really matter to the actual story, but it's just... when given the chance to get a color page, 2-page spread in Weekly Shonen Jump, which is kind of like a big fucking deal in the magazine, one of Chainsaw Man's craziest color 2-spread pages is like, how the fuck did you get away with this? How?
I mean, it's wild, but honestly, it is not the most suggestive cover to be in Jump. I will say that.
I believe that. It's still just like a wow.
Is it suggestive?
It,
Like, I feel like suggestive involves a level of coyness.
Okay. I'm saying suggestive because I don't want to like spoil it for anyone who doesn't know what we're talking about. So.
I do have a question for you, gentlemen, on that note before we continue on.
yes.
What are the odds that like when they get to that in probably season 2? What are the odds that the ED is going to be centered around that bit for that episode?
I would almost guarantee it.
Christ. Okay. Anyways,
Yes. So we will be talking about the full season that has come out. We will generally avoid talking about stuff that has not been adapted, with the caveat that 3/4 of us do read the series regularly, and it might just pop out because we've read it. Like, we know it's going to happen. We'll try not to spoil it for you nice people who just want to watch a cartoon and not worry about all this spoiler nonsense.
I'm also of the opinion that it's like, I don't like playing... For those who know me, one of the things that annoys the shit out of me the most is the conversation about the manga versus the anime. AKA, this is stuff that was sped over. This was stuff that was anime original. This was stuff that they cut out. Blah, 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 blah. This is going to be especially relevant for tonight's discussion of the Chainsaw Man anime for a variety of reasons. But I also want people to experience the anime as it is, in the format it is, in and of itself. And as far as the actual quality of the anime itself, it's still really fucking good. I'm a big fan of the Chainsaw Man manga. This anime is still really good. It is still worth watching. You can absolutely recommend this to somebody without having to touch the manga. It's not a problem. It's fucking fine. It's fucking fine. All you goddamn weirdos bitching about it need to shut up. The manga is still there, okay? Okay.
Okay. Just leading in with that, as a person who has definitely complained about adaptations before, Chainsaw Man is real good. Y'all are being way too weird about this. It's really good, like, really, really good, and that's weird, like, kind of insane the amount of detail they're giving to, like, a Jump adaptation. Like, y'all are being extremely spoiled right now.
Do you know how frustrating it is that I have to defend Mappa? You fuckers suck.
Up is down and black is white.
It's like, if there is any studio in the anime industry that does not deserve to get its dick sucked, it's Mappa. And now here I am having to at least pull the pants down and consider it, because y'all motherfuckers won't be weird. You won't stop being weird on the internet, because they did it like a movie instead of an anime. Shut the fuck up.
A true testament to how warped so much online anime discourse is in of itself.
Movies are good. They're a good thing to be inspired by and rip off.
I can't stand people that look at this one deciding, hey, you know what we should do on this? We should steal that bit from Evil Dead where Sam Raimi follows the car along like the roof so that the camera's turned upside down when it's going away for you. That looks cool. We should steal that. And people are like, that's not how it works in the manga. And it's like, you hurt me.
Okay, I need to applaud you for a second, because you did a really good Homer Simpson for like 2 to 3 seconds. That was impressive.
Not strictly what I was aiming for, but that's where it ended up.
That was a good one.
Thank you.
I was also thinking of Homer because Patrick's Discord PFP is just Homer falling over a trash can.
It is. It brings me joy whenever I see
Anyways, I guess it's good to kind of rip that Band-Aid off early, because I want to talk about the actual things that make this dub and show worth talking about. So let's get into that.
Let's. Absolutely. So we have a dub, obviously, and if you're making a dub, you need staff to make the dub. And boy, do we have a staff today, folks. On ADR direction, to the surprise of no one, because of course he got this, it's Mike McFarlane. What has Mike McFarlane done? Pick a big show from the Funimation Crunchyroll universe. There's probably about a 50% chance he directed it. He's leading Attack on Titan all these years. He did Tokyo Ghoul, which feels appropriate given what happens in this show. He did Mushishi, which I'm a big fan of. He's done Shiki. He's done so many goddamn things. Which is important to how this dub got made, which we'll talk about later. And on script writing duties, we have Jessica Slies, who's written a bunch of interesting things. She's the writer on Kaguya-sama, Love is War. She wrote Requiem of the Rose King. She wrote Subuki Bisco, which at least a few of us, I think, talked about how great that was like a year or so ago, something like that. 8 months? I don't remember.
Yeah.
What is time?
I love the way you pronounce things, just because I never know what I'm gonna get.
I'm really good at almost knowing how Japanese is supposed to be pronounced, except when I'm put on the spot to actually say it into a microphone, and then suddenly it gets difficult. It's really annoying. I said what I said. Red hair, sand, mushrooms. You know what I'm talking about.
No, actually, I was more. No,
Thank you.
I was more making fun of the fact that you called Kaguya-sama Kaguya-sama, which made me think of Maguzi. Which, do you remember Maguzi?
I do remember Maguzi. That's what you watch Code Lyoko on. It was that weird, slightly younger audience aged replacement. Was it a replacement?
It
for
was a
Toonami,
direct
or just
replacement for
on
Toonami,
before
yeah.
it? Yes. Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, I was a big Code Lyoko fan, so
Yeah,
I watched a lot of
Toonami
Maguzi.
moved to Saturdays at that point and then died.
And then came back, and now it's been going for like a good decade now, which is wild.
Wacky. All right, gentlemen. Do you want to talk about the staff on this dub?
I would like to talk about
it's,
this stuff.
It's Mike McFarlane. Like, is there really anything bad you could say about a Mike McFarlane dub?
I feel like, okay, how do I describe this? I think there can be a difference between competently put together and putting your best foot forward. I think there is a difference between the two. And this one is definitely putting your whole fucking foot forward. In general. This dub. It's good. It's very, very good. I think one of the most interesting things is that you can kind of tell, as we were saying, Jed, I think there's a difference between a Mike McFarlane dub that is competent, but more or less going with the flow, and putting your best foot forward and giving it a fucking I don't know. What's a good way to put this? I'm really trying not to use any variation of Ussy right now, and I need somebody to help me and stop me from doing it.
I don't. Okay, well, no. I mean, I don't want to say more passion because that's definitely not the right thing. But that's because Mike McFarlane is a very professional director. I don't believe he does anything half-hearted. But this is definitely like you can tell this was a big project that he wanted to do right, and it really shows.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think what you get off to McFarlane is there's stuff that he's put on, or he's been doing this a long time. He's a professional. He's gonna turn in good work, kind of regardless. There's definitely stuff he does because, that's his job. He's been hired to do it. He's not gonna, if he doesn't have his reputation, what does he have? He's not gonna fuck it up. And then there's stuff he puts on that's like, I like this. I care about this. I want this to be good. And I'd say this definitely falls on the good side of it. Like, there is so much fucking work on screen. Or on stereo? On audio?
Yes.
This whole show oozes passion in the first place, and that definitely comes across on the dub side of it too.
And I love the fact that he can just kind of, it almost feels like instinctively nail that sort of grindhouse feel that obviously Fujimoto was going for with the manga, which translated into the anime. I mean, just look at the OP and you can see all of Fujimoto's influences, right there. And, Mike McFarlane was able to take that and translate it. Feels like pretty much one-to-one, even though, obviously, different dialogue coming out of the character's mouth.
So,
speaking of dialogue, I do want to praise Jessica's script. I do think she does a really solid job with the material, because, we're not going to sit here and say, Fujimoto stuff is, hard to translate, because I mean, he's kind of a grindhouse guy, so a lot of his dialogue isn't, super difficult to parse or anything, but his stuff does tend to be, pretty bombastic, and that can be kind of hard to nail down, but I think he does a really good job with it.
I think it's not that anything is particular. Here's what it is about, Fujimoto writing. It's not that the words are particularly complex. It's that it needs the sincere heart, while also kind of being absolutely batshit insane and deranged. And honestly, Jessica's writing it's interesting in the fact that I think it's got a right level of, flavor and spice to it. I think more than I was kind of expecting from something like this. Not that I didn't think that there was going to be some spice, but I almost thought it was too big that you couldn't let somebody really play around with either the prose or the dialogue in unique ways.
I do. I get what you're saying, because this does seem like the sort of thing Crunchyroll would play, very safe in terms of script adaptation, and it's not. It definitely knows where to be fun, and even going back to Mike McFarlane's direction, there's definitely some fun bits in the direction that you really feel that I'm really shocked they got away with in terms of just everything.
I was not expecting.
I saw someone mention it before, but there's an exchange later on the show between Denji and Himeno, where Himeno asks Denji if he's into Makima, and just the way he says yes is just
yes.
I really makes it got away with that.
I that's as much as the actor's delivery as it is just the correct level of oh, you are a strange, horny little gremlin child. It's just yes.
I actually love how anachronistic this dub feels. Because this is a show that is supposed to be set in, the mid-90s. And you would...
Yes.
And you would expect, modern slang being stuck in there not to work. It would feel like a Stephen Foster dub, High School of the Dead.
Oh,
but it doesn't.
Ooh,
Oh, wow, you just went straight for the juggler there, huh?
You went straight for the Sarah Palin-sized jugular.
Ah.
Like, it feels like it fits. Like, especially the yee kind of thing.
Denji uses murder eyes in several scenes and contexts, and it works.
You know what occurred to me while we were talking about this that I think maybe, at least I think on the direction side, might help explain why this works so well.
Yeah.
I don't know how old Mike McFarlane is. I wasn't able to find, like, his birthday or whatever. But apparently he got in the industry when in the late 90s, so he was at least an adult then. And it occurs to me, Mike McFarlane is the exact correct age to be one of those dudes who, like, saw the Quentin Tarantino revolution happen in real time.
Ooh.
It's like, I don't know if you, because, like, if you at home are younger than this, I really cannot overstate what a fucking sledgehammer Reservoir Dogs was to American cinema at the time. The number of Tarantino knockoffs we got from, like, the mid-90s up to... They never technically stopped, they just mutated a little bit, but, like, it's hard to articulate that to someone who post-states that happening. And, like, if there's a person I think of as, like, Fujimoto feels like, it's Tarantino, just on that basis of, like, this is a dude who lives in a fucking video store, and he exists in movies, and that he is soaking in it at all times. And so much of what his deal is just that. And it's like, lowbrow, highbrow, I don't give a shit. If it's good, that's all I care about.
It's so...
And there's something about this that feels like, it is punchy and it has F-bombs, but it feels like it's like, I'm not going for shock value or anything. I'm putting an F-bomb here because that is the thing, that is what this character would say.
Okay, we need to talk about that, because that is something the manga... Shit, I don't even think the Japanese has. The good power of a correctly placed F-bomb.
And an interesting tidbit is, like, if you hear ADR directors for anime at convention panels, and I think a couple of DVD commentaries, they will say, yeah, the Japanese rights holders do not like it when we put F-bombs in the dub, so we typically don't.
Like, even the ones that should be able to get away with it. I think I remember, I remember talking to, like, Madeline Morris in regards to, like, Girlfriend or something, where it's like, it is extremely hard and very uncommon to actually get the permission to use F-bombs in a dub, even if it would work. Because probably just a lot of rights internal stuff. It works for Chainsaw Man. Like, I cannot highlight how good the first F-bomb usage is, because it is the fake... okay, it's not fake, but it is the fake bravado of... Man, that sucks about your cat, though. I'd maybe get if it was a dog, but... I don't know, sucks to suck, dude. Hey, if you help save my cat, you can touch my tits. And then you see the epic moment forming in his brain, and he's like, that fucking asshole! And then he's just like, he's like building up the cool guy moment in his head, and it's just like, that's such a good time to use it!
Yeah, personally I think my favorite uses of it, even though it is kind of like even though it is in what would be an otherwise extremely problematic moment. When Dizzy's in Hibito's apartment.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Oh my god! The guy animating that entire Himeno sequence was animating with one hand, I swear to god.
I remember watching that for the first... Actually, no, because it dropped while I was at work, so I definitely saw a couple of screenshots before I actually got to watch the episode. But I was like, wow, the Himeno fans are feasting to Jesus Christ. Like, I'm not used to something this expensive being this shameless.
Ain't it great?
I feel like that doesn't happen in no. So, I think this comes in the dub, but so much what I love about this is that this show feels like it should have been had all of its edges sandblasted off in the transition to the anime just because of how much money was riding on the line, and it's wild that so much of it feels like the money people, the executives that usually make this shit difficult, just let go for a while, let them do things. And it all worked out for the better.
So, I think as far as, like, the...
Like the thing I like about it is, it definitely felt like the people who were fun... Because if I recall correctly, MAPPA pretty much self-financed this show in order to make it the way they wanted to make it.
In theory, yes.
So it was just like they were telling their animation teams, you know what? Pop off, my friend. Pop off.
Which...
And they did.
This is completely unrelated to anything regarding either the directing or the writing of this particular project.
Mm-hmm.
I joked and said I would go off for a few minutes doing my best to worst Chainsaw Man EDs. Do you want to do this now?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Okay, I literally wrote this out, by the way. So, the worst one is episode 6. Which is the most... It's just a bunch of manga panels. It's like a manga music video. It's fine, it's whatever. Song's not bad, but it's a very kind of uninspired one visually. I think the other one I have is near the bottom is episode 2's, which is it's cute visuals and the song's not bad, but compared to some of the things that come after, it gets they're ahead of the mark. Episode 1.
It's not that it's bad, it's that the bar is very high.
Is that the bar is set very high as we go on. And then third worst, or third from the bottom, because right now I'm doing worst to best. So episode 6 is the worst, episode 2 is the second worst, and then slightly above that is Chainsaw Blood in episode 1, which that song fucking owns. It would be so much better if it wasn't a generic text scroll or a music video montage. Like, either way, it's such a good song with such a nothing ED. Followed by episode 4, which is the power music video, which I described. This feels like it would go viral on Nico Nico, and that is the exact vibe they wanted to nail. Which I thought was great. Followed by episode 8's First Death, which is a perfectly fine ED and song. I'm not the biggest fan of TK from Ling tosite sigure, or however you say it. I'm not the biggest fan of them. Square in the middle is Violence by Queen Bee. Queen Bee's fucking great, incredible song. The only reason it's kind of middle of the road is I think the visuals don't quite work with the Chainsaw Man aesthetic, but I think it's pretty cool. Episode 12 is Fight Song, which is the one at the very end, which I really like knowing that it's a very cute, it's a good song, very cute visuals. I love how that is diegetically worked into the end of the episode, where the ending happens, and then after the fact, it's like, Aki goes out to have a smoke while everybody's kind of passed out from the party. I'm like, I love that that's in the episode. Dogland in episode 10, which is just great grungy visuals and song and chaos. It's great. Third place, Deep Down by Eimer. Oh wait, no, I forgot. Oh shit, no, I forgot episode 7 and 10. Shit. Sorry, after Fight Song is episode 7, which is Ano's song, which is... They fucking looped the puking. I can't believe they looped the puking.
Absolute, and they're going to force weld it to by far what is otherwise the horniest ED in the show.
Oh yeah. So episode 7's 5th place. 4th place is episode 10's Dogland, which I think is very cool visuals and chaos. I think it's got the good vibe. Episode 9, Deep Down by Eimer. Incredible visuals, incredible song, creepy as shit, really good. Episode 5 is 2nd place, The Backrooms. Great song, incredible visuals, absolutely so fucking good. Best ED in the show? Episode 3, we were singing it at the beginning. Demon in name of devil. The fucking maximum of hormone. They use it as an insert song in the show twice. It's so fucking good. It's so good.
And just like the whole visuals of that ending too are some of the best and strongest of the endings.
It is, to me, if there was one ending of the show that I feel really gets the vibe of Chainsaw Man, It is Hawatari Tuoku Senti by Maximum the Hormone. It is, to me, the best ED in the show.
In a world where the show just gets one ED, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Um,
And I think that translates
meanwhile-
to like 10 million centimeter blade or something like that.
That's pretty good.
the Match with the Hormone one was probably my favorite, like, song individually. But in terms of, like, if I had to pick which one do I think would make sense as, like, the permanent ED, I think I would actually go with the Dogland one.
Really? I like the Dogland one, but I feel like that one's a little too out there to be the ED.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it just, like, kind of fits with the aesthetic of Chainsaw Man, and the uses of dogs make sense. Again, leaving things as vague as possible given where the manga eventually goes.
There is metaphorical symbolism as well as the dialogue is used throughout about the fact that she likes to keep her dogs on a short leash. That is just a thing that is said throughout. It's a motif for Makima. So, I know I just kind of went on that tangent. I want to mention one more thing before we actually talk about characters proper.
Yeah.
Kind of gonna potentially bring the mood down a little, but I think we have to at least discuss it and bring it up.
Mm-hmm.
So we talked about how good the writing is and how much, like, even with, like, the flavor thrown in and even slang that should feel out of place but absolutely doesn't and is fitting for the style of the series. And Mike McFarlane's specific talents that goes into this. I think we need to talk about the fact that there are things that this dub gets away with. I literally only think it could get away with. Because, as you've mentioned this to me before, Amon, you think that Chainsaw Man, the dub, is basically like the build-up of clout Mike McFarlane has built up throughout his entire career?
I know where you're going to bring this up, but, like, given just how long he's been working on those Dallas area dubs and, like, the number of very, very big titles he has had his hands in, like, how many episodes of One Piece has he directed just by itself?
Yes.
Like the dude has put in the fucking work over the course of about 3 decades, bordering on. So, like,
where I'm going at with that, within the year 2022, an internal mandate came about that every dub that was done at Crunchyroll in the Dallas area was to stick exclusively to local talent that could record in the DFW area. No ifs, ands, or buts. Like, even the most other senior directors at Crunchyroll, it seems like they're really only able to do reprisals, and that's kinda it. And I think it's a twofold, not only of Chainsaw Man's inherent popularity, but just the fact that, like, Mike McFarlane was able to get that push and, like, get talent to audition and get cast from the Los Angeles area. And I think that is a benefit to this dub in a multitude of ways. Like, it seems like they still don't want, like, remote recording now. I think everybody from the LA side recorded with Jeff Bezenti at Central Command. But
It was never said, but it's implied, yeah.
yeah, because I think Jeff mentioned on Twitter that he was involved with the engineering and recording on his side of things.
And a
So
couple of the actors involved also thanked him.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much he did. I don't know if there was in fact any remote recording, but presumably all of it went through Central Command.
The point I'm getting at is, as cool as this dub is, as great as this dub is, as great as it sounds, a lot of respect really needs to go on the fact that the push was made to expand the horizons, to get auditions from people outside of the Dallas area and open them up to the LA area too.
Yeah.
And it's
'Cause,
kind of fascinating and to even imagine what this dub would look like if they didn't concede.
And it's also fascinating because if you listen to other podcasts, particularly the One Piece podcast, there was an interview that, in fact, Mike McFarlane's ability to cast LA actors in Chainsaw Man directly knocked over into Anthony Bowling and his attempts to dub the Wano arc of One Piece, where he was actually able to get LA actors specifically because Mike McFarlane was able to, and he just asked the higher-ups in the dubbing studio, like, if he can do it, why can't I? And they said, okay.
Mike McFarlane breaking that wall so no one else has to.
If anybody is able to do that, is effectively the most senior person at Crunchyroll's like ADR division.
Yeah.
So I'm glad it happened. It's still a sort of frustratingly malleable, but also unmoving mandate. But that's a bigger story for another time. I wanted to at least bring it up because it deserves to at least be acknowledged.
Yeah, and at the very least, it's a good first step.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, a lot of us here at Dub Talk kind of advocate for the ability to do hybrid casting for, Dallas area plus LA plus New York plus basically anywhere somebody has the proper recording equipment and location to do remote. So
I think it's worth acknowledging. And
this is a good first step.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that being said, dub sounds good, and the team that's on it is doing a fucking good job.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Fuck
yeah.
Yeah.
I spent a fair amount of time in the lead up to this anime, not super worried, but always aware that something could go wrong. This is like, I realize this makes you sound like a complete chode, but this is like my favorite anime now.
Oh god. Okay, here, give me your hipster card. Give me your hipster card, okay? Here.
Look, in my defense, I was on the Chainsaw Man train from day one. I didn't come into it late. I looked at that ANN announcement and thought, it has Chainsaw in the title. That sounds like a thing I would enjoy. I should check it out. And I'm being dead serious. That is why I started. It is literally just it had Chainsaw in the title. I am that basic.
You know what? Respect.
You know what? When we get to the end of the episode, my Patrick's Cool Thing of the Day will get you your indie cred card back. I can tell you that right now.
But I was always, like, not concerned, but just aware that, like, there are so many ways this can fall flat on its face, and not even necessarily be bad, just not be as good as I was hoping. And it's been a miracle to watch it kind of stick the landings, and I have immense respect and credit to the dub staff for helping just this part of it be so good. But we will discuss that in more depth when we get to our characters. Who wants to talk about some devils?
They're not devil. Okay, some of them are devils, some of them are fiends, and some of them are like baby both.
I believe a fiend is a devil that has taken over a person's body.
Okay.
So they're on a continuum, if you will.
Okay, got it.
It's like a devil possessed meat puppet.
Yes.
Something like that.
So let's talk about some. First up, you know him. You love him. You watch him dance in the opening every week. It's the future devil. Say it with me now, kids.
The future rules.
The future
rules.
Rules.
The future rules. He's the future devil. He knows what's going to happen. He's going to be really annoying about it.
But also, he's just kind of chilling out in Aki's, like, right eye now.
Yep, just being helpful and also a pain in the ass. Especially to Aki, because...
He's like...
Boy, where's that mismatch buddy cop comedy, am I right?
He's basically, what if a Sharingan was gonna call you a limp dick fuck nugget?
You're not wrong.
A very specific insult, but sure.
I kind of just pulled that one out of my
I mean,
butt, but you know what?
look.
It's fitting.
I mean, look, it's nuts or nothing.
Okay, you know what? I cannot believe there was a fucking It's Nerf or Nothing reference in a fucking Chainsaw Man dub, and it works! Anyways, moving on.
We live in magical times. The Future Devil. Yeah. He makes some extreme deals with people, but for poor Aki, he's just like, I'm just gonna hang around and see how you manage to fuck this up, buddy. More or less. I want to be here when it happens.
I can see you're fucking around. I want to be here to find out.
Pretty much. And following him, you know him, you love him. He is the best boy. It's Beam the Shark Fiend. Anime viewers will not think he's the best boy yet, but wait till season 2. You will love him. He is great.
He's just a shark. How can you not love a shark? He is just a good shark boy.
He's got big. He swims through walls and has a big shark head and eats things.
Beam's a good boy, just stay away from his mouth. Holy shit,
Exactly.
Stay away from his mouth.
And don't do it, son.
He has
There-
no self-control.
There's somebody in the fucking comments that just like jokes on you. I'm into that shit.
At least look. Those of you who are currently reading the current Chainsaw Man now, as of early April, are very aware of what's going on in there and how much Fujimoto just seems to like. Yeah, I'm gonna make you address all of your weird fetishes. What about it? Oh, you didn't think you were into that? Joke's on you.
You are now.
Just insert that clip of this better not awaken anything in me. And that's Chainsaw Man.
Yep. Speaking of which,
This week, the writers...
the writers.
a barely disguised fetish. There we go. That was a joke.
Do you know how funny it is to see power become like an internet sex symbol? And it's like, really?
There is no funnier disconnect between people who read the thing and people who don't read the thing and just like the fan art than any of the hot people in Chainsaw Man.
God, fucking right.
There's none funnier.
Chainsaw Man fan is excited to watch Chainsaw Man for the first time.
Where was I? Yes, next we have...
Please continue to talk about the characters. I was just going to talk about the fact that Makima fans were literally like pissing and shitting everywhere because they thought Makima's tits and ass were nerfed, where it's like, she had normal proportions. Porn lied to you.
My dude, there is like one shot of her in a dress bending forward and you all ran with that way too hard. Calm down.
No.
Keep your pants on.
No! I refuse. They say.
As that one bit of fan art show, this is cowards. The way you make Maki more attractive is to make her suit even more exaggerated. Anyways,
Until she
I don't have a
becomes David
punchy...
Byrne.
Yeah, basically. I don't have a punchy intro for this, so next we have the Violence Fiend.
I like how his gimmick is that he is extremely violent, but he's just really nice.
It's just so funny that just the Violence Fiend. Like, it's the inverse of, like, you know, oh, there are sea cucumber devils and tomato devils, and they're not that threatening because people aren't really afraid of those things. Now we have the Violence Fiend, and it's like...
The concept of violence, yeah.
Just violence. And he's a real swell guy. You know, because he's got a gas mask on that keeps him from getting too crazy. And next we have, speaking of awakening things in people... we have Princey. She's the spider devil. Isn't she a beaut?
She sure is.
And now we have, and lastly, but certainly not least, we have the incarnation of that one tweet that's like, am I a boy or am I a girl? Nobody knows, but everyone thinks I'm hot, and that makes everyone gay. The angel devil.
Yeah! That is exactly what Angel Devil is.
I just want to appreciate just the pure raw silliness of the angel devil.
People are afraid of angels. I don't
look,
I don't
I've
know
seen
if they're
enough-
biblically accurate or not. Probably not.
I've seen enough biblically accurate angel references. This all look, so much of Chainsaw Man just feels like a weird joke Fujimoto's playing on the audience. This just feels like a part of it.
Do you think the angel devil exists because of how much Hideki Anno made the public at large afraid of angels in Evangelion?
Given that Eva is clearly one of the big reference touchstones for Fujimoto, that feels very possible, actually.
And you know what's crazy?
Oh god, this is gonna be even funnier in like 5 seconds.
Yeah, absolutely.
In theory, Chainsaw Man is happening canonically as Evangelion is airing.
Fuck you, I need to look this up now.
Oh my god, you're right, 97! Jesus!
Oh my god.
Man, now I'm just imagining like the Garfield mirror me, but instead of like Garfield being like, I wonder who that is. It's like Denji looking in the mirror at Shinji.
I wonder who this is for.
Okay, so the TV series was done. The TV series was done by then, but both Death and Rebirth and End of Ava are 97.
Even better. Get the really weird shit. Totally appropriate. Anyways, you might be asking yourself, why are you all talking so much? Who is playing these characters? I've been staring at these headshots for like 5 minutes. Well, we'll get to that. Playing the Future Devil, we have Landon McDonald. He's known for a bunch of things. He's Rampo Edogawa in Bungo Strain Dogs. He is Noritoshi Kamo in Jujutsu Kaisen. And, of course, he is Rohan in... the one credit I pulled was The Spoke Kishibe Rohan, although I think he's played him in actual JoJo's as well, if memory serves, yes?
No, he is not.
Nope.
No, not yet. Gotcha. Right.
The keyword here is not yet.
Right. Next up, Beam is being played by Derek Snow. You know him for playing Dr. Danny in Angels of Death. Budori Gosko in The Life of Budori Gosko, and Nagara in Sunny Boy. The Violence Fiend, everyone's favorite, is played by Josh Bangle. He is known for such roles as Baron Sujita in Back Arrow, Foyen Lee in Fire Force, and Daisuke Nikaido in Mix Meisei Story. Princey is played by Julie Shields, for playing Yakumaru in the certain scientific blah 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 whatever series. Ren Mikihara in Full Metal Panic Invisible Victory, and Matsumae in Tokyo Ghoul. And remember when we brought up Evangelion?
I swear to God, I didn't even do this on purpose.
It's a good bit. Playing the Angel Devil, we have Casey Mangelo, who is known for such roles as Theoto Rika in 86, THX in Time of Eve, and, of course, Shinji Ikari in the Netflix dub of Evangelion.
I swear to God, I literally did not even connect 2 and 2 when I was making the Ava joke.
No, the better part would be if that was something that was a connection they made while they were... No, the better part was if that was a connection they made while casting. It was like, wait, guys, I thought of something really funny. What if?
No. If they're trying to be really funny, they would have cast Keiji as like Baby Denji or something.
God. But, so I'll say this. We are talking about these because these are fun characters, and this is just as simple as, okay, they show up for like a minute and a half. They will be important later on, but we want to talk about them. Julie Shields. She did the thing.
Yep.
Moving on.
Yep.
Derek Snow. Incredible. Absolutely fucking... He shows up and he just nails it immediately. That is crazy energy. He is just screaming, "Zombies! Yeah!" And it's like, that's exactly... You nailed it. Got it? Perfect.
10 out of 10, no notes.
10 out of 10, no notes.
You love to see it.
You love to just... It is the exact level of crazy energy, and it's like, you just look at Beam and you're like, oh, you and Denji are just BFF material. Perfect. It may or may not because they both have shark teeth.
Who can say?
And as we were talking about before, Violence Fiend's whole deal is that he is extremely powerful and very violent, where it's like they literally have to douse his blood with poison to contain him. But he's just very nice. Which is...
Whoa, lady, I didn't see you there. You should get out of here. I might hit you by accident and make explode.
Which is...
Oh, hi, Precy. Never mind.
It's just an extremely funny idea of... What if the literal embodiment of, like, the demonic personification of fear and violence was just a nice guy? Like, yeah, just, and Josh is just very like, oh, you're very polite and formal, and you're just a very chill dude. And yeah, that's a very funny combination. Casey, wow, I did not expect fucking Casey Mangelo as Angel. Incredibly inspired choice, and it's a very, very good one.
I, if nothing else, I do want to give kudos to them for casting a non-binary person as the Angel Devil.
Yeah.
I was hoping they'd do something like that, so, like, good. Thumbs up, guys.
Yeah, that was like, I kind of didn't expect them to do that, but I appreciate that they did. Casey's already sounds the correct level of sleepy yet indifferent that I think Angel needs. I had no idea what the fuck they were going to do with Future. It was like, literally, when we were doing all these fan casts, it's like, okay, Future could either be like a hyperactive, like 20, 30-something-year-old guy, or he could just be like a very old man who's just kind of like jigging it up. I have no idea. I don't know what that's supposed to sound like.
Okay, you know, I mean, credit where he's due. Mike at least as far as I know, isn't the kind of person who like goes out of his way to cast himself in his own dubs. But I feel like if he was going to cast himself somewhere, I feel like that would have been where he was going to cast himself. So I'm kind of impressed he didn't take that shot.
The Future Devil's great because I feel like he's like a Rorschach test for what you think characters should sound like. You can put him in front of somebody and what voice they think should come out of that body probably says something about them.
That's kind of what it is, where it's like the most fascinating thing to me is like, I don't know what the fuck this eldritch nightmare is going to sound like, and he's just here basically sounding like he's gonna fucking do a keg stand, which is
great thing is
perfect.
The greatest part about this is when we asked within our friend group who they thought would play the Future Devil, pretty much only a handful had the same answer. Everybody thought it would be somebody different.
Like, because that's what it is. The Future Devil itself is just a strange being, where until, like, the Japanese came out, it's like, I don't know what he's supposed to sound like. What are they gonna go for? I don't know.
I don't... look, Len does an excellent job. He's wonderful. He's great. If I have any disappointments, it's that they didn't just give him a Beavis and Butthead voice.
Oh my god.
That's how he sounds in my head.
What?
You know what?
What the fuck are you... What?
That would be hilarious.
Tell me the Future Devil going around going like, the future rules. Tell me that's not funny. Tell me that's not funny.
Came up with Beavis and Butthead?
Tell me that's not funny.
Hey, Beavis. The future rules.
See? He gets it.
Is he telling Aki to shove his head in his bunghole?
I'm saying the more the Future Devil has irritating 12-year-old boy energy, the funnier he is to me.
Fair enough.
Like, as a general rule.
And I think Landon does nail the fact that he is very dubious, but also correctly annoying in the right ways. Which I love the fact that the Future Devil is like, oh, he took away a guy's eyes, taste, and sense of smell. Which is miserable. It's like, you can't even be a good... Like, you can do the blind samurai thing, but, like, you have no joy in life anymore. And then Aki, he's just like, oh! Oh, you're You're so fucked up. This is gonna be terrible. I need a front row seat.
Is the embodiment of that gif where the guy just like pops out the lawn chair so you can have a sit down and watch the absolute fiasco?
That is literally what it is.
Yeah.
It's like, you are going to die a terrible death. I need to see this shit. I'm coming with
Hold
you.
on. Don't go anywhere. I'm popping myself some popcorn. I gotta see this.
The future devil is doing the King of the Hill thing with 4 different versions of himself. Now I'm just imagining the future devil as just his own adult sitcom, which is a very fascinating thing. But yes, Landon nails whatever the fuck that thing is supposed to be correctly.
It's really good. I'm looking. This is the I am so looking forward to seeing more of you next season category, basically.
That's kind of exactly what this category is, which I guess we might as well just throw a quick little shout out to Alexis Tipton as girl who is not yet named, but if you know, you know.
Alexis, I look forward to watching you make the internet lose its collective fucking mind in a year whenever season 2 comes out.
Year and a half.
I'm looking forward to it.
Anyways.
You're doing great.
Any other notes you guys want to throw in about the rest of these devil fiends?
No, they all sound good.
I'm all set.
They're all good. They're all very good. Like, this is basically, I really like you conceptually. Like, for pretty much all of them. Like, but, like, it's basically, okay, we don't have much else to really say. Did we spend 10 minutes on a section of characters that, like, have 2 to 5 lines of dialogue max? Yes, welcome to Dub Talk. Glad you could be here.
It's Chainsaw Man. It inspires a lot of feelings.
Speaking of fucking feelings.
So let's move on. Let's move on to the bad guy portion of this episode.
Bad guy portion is a choice.
So we can't talk about the big bad because they haven't shown up on screen yet, and they probably don't talk, but we'll find out later. So we're gonna talk about these two. We have Akane Sawatari. She's made a deal with the Snake Devil, and she's also apparently made a deal with the Gun Devil to get Denji's heart for reasons that remain unclear to everybody who's not her.
I think
the Gun Devil, presumably.
I think she was also an ex-public safety devil hunter that I think just kind of left and then went private or AWOL or something.
I don't recall if that is true or not, but that would not shock me. That checks out. Mm-hmm. She's terrifying. And with her we have, depending on which translation you look at, we have either Katana Man or Samurai Sword. He is a little bitch and I hate him. Fuck this guy.
He's the best at being the worst.
He sucks so much.
I don't much care for this man.
No, he's not great. He is the grandson of the. I didn't summarize what Chainsaw Man's about. I will punch that in later. But
I'm gonna be honest.
Going off of that,
I'm gonna be honest. It's almost funnier the thought of we are an hour into a Chainsaw Man dub talk thing, and we did not explain what the plot of Chainsaw Man is.
Do we really need to? It's a man who
turns into chainsaw.
Okay.
Here we go.
Here's a boy. His life sucks. He's got a cute dog that's also a chainsaw. They die. Chainsaw dog becomes his heart. He becomes the Chainsaw Man.
Denji lives, he dies, he lives again. He goes to Valhalla shiny and chrome. Witness him.
I like Chainsaw Man. Because it reminds me of a bit I saw Patton Oswalt did, where it's like, look, there's certain movies where, like, the title tells you all you need to know. Like, no one's sitting around asking, I wonder what Texas Chainsaw Massacre is about. Like, it tells you. Much the same way, Chainsaw Man. Oh, well, that makes sense.
Why do you think everybody got so excited?
On the tin.
Like, what the fuck do you think a movie called Cocaine Bear is about?
Exactly. But yes, Samurai Sword is the grandson of the mob boss that Denji was indebted to, and he's really pissed off that his grandfather is dead because his grandfather was nice to him, and that's what's important.
Granddad may only every now and then killed women and children. Like, it's not that he never killed women and children, it's like, he didn't like to do it that much.
Well, he didn't enjoy it.
He only got half mass when he killed women and children. Now everybody else full on murder boner.
And he's made a deal with the Sword Devil. He turns into a big sword guy. And he gets his comeuppance in such a
We will get to that.
We will. So, playing these characters, Akane is being played by Emilo, who knows such roles as Mina Yadomika in 86, Lucy in Cyberpunk Edgerunners, and Shanghai in Sunny Boy. And Samurai Sword is being played by Jason Marnoka, as Gus in Carolyn Tuesday, Headmaster Helvis in Hells, and Gansaku Nanbu in Megalobox. Now we want to talk about the mean lady, or we want to talk about the asshole first?
Oh, that's a good question.
I guess.
I mean, I feel like we can talk about mean lady because, she's got a lot going on, but there's also a lot we don't. That she's also just kind of a mysterious figure for the amount of times he's typically on screen in the show.
She's very mysterious, she's very menacing and imposing, and she's got a very, cold and calm demeanor to her that Emmy absolutely imbues into their character, yeah. And just that level of, oh, you are threatening. The snake is genuinely terrifying. Also, nothing makes me more uncomfortable than watching somebody's nails get pulled off of them.
I had forgotten about that until I was rewatching the show, and Jesus Christ.
The good news is they kind of just play it where it just sort of
it
Thanos snaps away into dust instead of having to see it actually get ripped off.
They chose the quote unquote most pleasant way they could display that.
Which did you ever watch Kakegurui? You ever watch the first season of Kakegurui? I think
does that have nail stuff in it?
I think I actually screamed when she tore off her nails in the first season that. I think I actually screamed.
How bad is how bad is it in comparison to that bit in Higurashi where she's trying to strip her own nails off and she whiffs one of them?
I don't know. I think I am immediately regretting this bit, so I'd like to take and retract this, please. Every now and then, me being me, I recognize, okay, I have taken this as far as I'm comfortable with. Let us stop now.
I will say a thing I appreciate about Emmy is that in comparison to Jason, I don't know if she actually has less lines, it just feels like she talks less, but I feel like she does a very good way of illustrating, oh, you're the one in charge.
Yeah.
Yeah, scary tough dude with a sword head, you're the one in charge.
You're
the one actually running this rodeo.
Yeah, let's put it like this, Chainsaw Man is no stranger to scary, intimidating ladies.
No one will ever forget that one story that somebody Fujimoto knew in college who really did a story where some lady had a crush on tipped his bike over and called him mean things, and that just made him like her more.
And then it's the entirety of this manga makes sense. Okay.
And it's just buddy, you got it bad, don't you?
Everything clicked in an instant.
And
but no, I think just Emmy's just extremely cold and menacing. Even when Akane is kind of losing her shit, especially when it comes to Makima blowing up all of their soldiers and then dealing with Kobeni, which I forgot. that there is a genuine, oh god, that's what Kobeni can do.
I had also forgotten.
She spends almost the entirety of the manga being like a sad, pathetic baby girl that everybody knows and love. That I forget, oh shit, she's fucking hardcore too.
Hardcore parkour, buddy.
And the thing I like is, like,
Just,
Akane
if you're gonna
is
die inside the van.
Akane is not the kind of character I'm accustomed to hearing Emilo play, and they do a really substantial job getting the fact that, oh, Akane is really messed up. Like,
I'd say it's definitely on the sliding scale of let's say the sliding scale is it Miri for Buddy Daddies?
yeah.
On the sliding scale of
Buddy Daddies.
on the sliding scale of Miri from Buddy Daddies to Lucy from Edge Runners, Akane is closer to the Lucy sliding scale, but not quite that same level.
Yeah, I would say so.
But yeah, Akane
Emmy
is
Lowe's
still,
a very
like,
versatile actor. Holy crap.
I know, right?
Like, even just imagining all three of these characters, it's like, wow, that is the same person. Holy shit.
yeah, like they really convey the fact that Akane is really messed up really well. And I mean, especially in the end of the series when they're raiding the skyscraper and Akane has stolen the contract of the ghost devil.
That was a good scene. And then she just kind of dies. Which is a very Chainsaw Man thing where it's like, yeah, that's all you got? Yeah, her devil just kind of killed her.
Death is random and arbitrary in the Chainsaw Man world.
It is very random and arbitrary.
You can always leave you her getting yanked off the stage.
Yeah, it did kind of feel like that in a way, but no, I really liked Emi as Akane.
Emi's good. I want to give Jason a lot of credit.
He deserves a lot of credit.
He brings all that great, like, Jason Marnoka rumble to this role. Like, he's good at playing, like, sort of scary, authoritative guys, and he's so good at using that tone while also just being the pettiest little asshole. Like, oh, your grandfather, fuck you.
Yeah.
Like, he's so good at being, like,
Shallow,
big tough guy. Huh?
Would you say he's very good at playing a very shallow person?
Shallow, and also just, like, it's his complaints, if you read them on paper, like, you would, if you read his dialogue without knowing what he sounds like, I think you would mentally insert a much whinier voice.
Yeah.
And I think it's his credit that still comes across, even though he's using, like, sort of, rumbly tough guy voice.
Yeah.
Like there is a whole scene where he's like, he hates Denji, but he's also like he effectively tries to do the heroic, let's talk about this, or let's see if we can come to an understanding, or
Yeah.
he effectively does the hero thing, which is, you had a sad childhood, I had a sad childhood, let's play the sad piano music from Naruto, and let's see if we can come to an understanding, and Denji's just like, nah.
Nah. And what's really funny is, like, the closest this character ever comes to having a point is where, like, that is where, like, Denji's bringing up the fact that he, like, killed zombies before. And Jason and Katana Man here is like, well, like, I wasn't killed zombies before, but even I feel bad about it. Like, maybe you should feel like at least a little messed up about it, dude.
And he's like, no.
Nah.
Like,
What?
no.
My favorite part about that scene is that he brings up, you killed my grandfather. It's like, your grandfather was dead when I got there, dude. And he like, no.
But even if that was true.
Are you in denial? Are you in denial about how your grandfather got himself killed? Is that where this is coming from?
Like, I feel like he would be in denial if his grandpa died from, like, autoerotic asphyxiation.
Oh, 100. He's such a child.
He is a
child.
powerful, imposing man with an incredibly cool monstrous demon form, and he's a little bitch. But you know what? Jason Martinoka is incredible at making both of these things come across.
George. I appreciate Jason's delivery during what is the most pivotal and important scene with this character, right before he's about to get kicked in the arms.
There is a genuine humanity to. There is like I feel like it's almost like the how do I describe this? Chainsaw Man is very much almost like an anti-manga in the sense where it's like Himeno is dead. She is never coming back. This man has killed her. Nothing we can and will ever do will bring it back. Nothing we do to this man will ever change that. But I will feel better. And then they just kick him in the nuts. And it is
easy
like...
revenge, motherfucker.
Easy revenge. It is genuinely the moment where I think Aki and Denji actually become friends.
Oh, 100%.
Where it's like...
They bond torturing this man.
That scene reminds me of the old meme image of the newspaper article that says, "Man kicks terrorist in the balls so hard he rips a tendon in his ankle."
The Requiem... A Requiem for Himeno. And I was so worried that it was going to be a silent montage and we weren't going to hear Jason's screams of anguish as he get kicked in the nuts. Oh no, they delivered.
Yeah, I appreciate the screams of anguish, and then like literally even right before it happens, like him pleading, and that's where it's like,
No, don't do this!
Didn't they also sneak in the little bell ringing sound that they did when...
Yep.
Yep.
They get the dong.
It's so good. It's
so cartoonish. I love it.
It's so childish, but it is exactly what it needed. Jason's great. Jason was a fantastic inspired choice, and yeah, really glad they were able to get Jason and to play this character. It was a very good pick.
All right, gentlemen, let's talk about some members of public safety. First up, we have the lady in charge herself. We have Makima. No last name. Or first name. I don't know. She's Makima. She's in charge. She has red hair. She has weird eyes. She's a little suspicious.
She has awakened many feelings in many people.
We like her. Maybe.
Possibly.
The internet certainly likes her, but that's for different reasons.
Bark, 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 bark.
Bark, 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 bark.
A conversation that has definitely happened somewhere in America. Dude, you did not tweet at insert actress name here, bark, bark, bark. Tell me you didn't do that.
Oh my god.
I thought it was funny. It's like, it is not funny. It's sad.
God, somebody must have actually done that.
No, I have a recollection of her tweeting about that at some point. Someone did.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Anyways,
Makima is the head of the if not the head, is a major figure in the public safety division.
Yeah, I believe she is officially the head of special division, so maybe the special divisions or special division 4 specifically. I don't remember which.
At least the Tokyo branch, yeah.
Yes. So we have her. We also have Kishibe. He is an old soul, and by that I mean he's 40 or something, I think.
Oh god. He looks like shit for 40 if that's the case.
I don't remember how old he is, other than I think he is probably younger than he looks because he has been through a lot.
I'm gonna take a look, please.
Yeah. He's been around for a while. He has managed to survive this long. He's brought in to help train Denji and Power after Samurai Sword and Akane attack him. And he feels like pretty strong evidence that we can add Fujimoto to the list of Japanese people who have a real big crush on Mads Mikkelsen. Because look at that guy. Next up, we have Himeno. She's a hot mess.
Oh!
And we love her for it.
Both hot and mess are capitalized.
Exactly. She used to be, I guess, at least the most senior member of the special division that Denji, Aki, and Power are a part of. She is very happy-go-lucky. She is a functioning alcoholic. And she has a lot of complicated feelings about her young wards that she can't really do that much to help at the end of the day. Next up, we have Kobeni.
Bless her heart.
Kobeni Higashiyama, because she is one of the few characters in this entire show that has an actual last name. Poor Kobeni. Kobeni doesn't want to be here.
I do not think you can understand how much everybody in the year 2022 collectively was like, I love and cherish this poor baby girl who is just a bundle of anxiety and fear. Which one? Yes.
Now draw her having a good day.
I'm not even sure what that would look like.
I still vividly remember I don't follow them anymore because I stopped following them because their gimmick basically led them to being
Deeply inappropriate?
a bit of a fucking racist asshole, yes.
Yeah, that too.
But there's somebody whose whole gimmick is basically, what if I draw really good art that secretly was, like, super depressing and fucked up? And, like, one of the only times I ever remember them drawing something, like, no strings attached and cute was just, like, Kobeni having breakfast. And it was like, oh, this is kind of sweet.
Yep. Everyone wants the best for Kobeni. Shame she's a character in Chainsaw Man where nothing nice happens to anybody. And if it does, it's very temporary.
Death is a kindness, which is something that Kobeni is not even afforded.
Absolutely. Death is the only guarantee you have in life, and she's not even guaranteed that.
Speaking of
Terrible
which,
shame.
hi, Arai.
Yeah. And last but not least, we have Hirokazu Arai. He is the dead meat portion of the agenda.
He's a good boy.
He's a good boy who wasn't cut out for this.
He was a
He's
good
a
boy
good
until
boy.
he wasn't anymore.
Yep.
Until he got put down, yeah.
Poor bastard.
So let's talk about who plays them.
Sure. Playing Makima, we have Suzy Young, known for playing such roles as Jing Jailane in Appare Ranman, Subaru in Gleipnir, and Keiko Koshide in Housing Complex C. Kishibe is being played by Jason Douglas, known for playing Chio Dad in Azumanga Daioh. God bless him. Takeshi Hokuto in Kuromari High School, and Thor is in the Sentai dub of Vinland Saga. Himeno is being played by Caitlin Barr, known for such roles as Hyakurin in Blade of the Immortal, Chiaki Ogaki in Laid Back Camp, and Claudia Bradford in Warlords of Sigdrifa. Kobeni is being played by Bryn April, known for such roles as Suiko Minohoshi in Boogie Pop and others, Nina in Gangsta, and Nahoshi Inami in Id Invaded. And Arai is being played by Jared Green, known for playing such roles as Yang in Gangsta, Matsuoka in Id Invaded, and Rikiro Daiwa in Kakushigoto.
Yeah,
Yes.
so trying to really resist the urge to just immediately jump to Kobeni, so we might as well get a out of the way.
I was gonna say, we could probably just throw Arai and Kobeni together, but
Yes, let's do that.
we should probably talk about Arai first, because Arai is a good lad who means well and's doing his best.
In any other shonen series, Arai would be the level-headed, sensible person in the group who wouldn't necessarily always be listened to, but would always be on the right track. But once again, unfortunately, he was on Chainsaw Man World, where that shit doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I also feel like Arai is, like, we talk about how Kobeni is just a bundle of fear and anxiety. Like, Arai's not better either. Dude had a fucking panic attack, and I'm like, man, I fucking feel you. I feel you.
The hotel arc is just an entire series of determining who is way out of their depth and who isn't.
Okay, who has screws in, and who doesn't? That's basically what it comes down to. You can see,
Oh, you
Bryn,
don't have a screw loose? Cool, you're gonna die.
Arai and Kobeni their screws are still a little too tight. Aki and Himeno, their screws are very loose, but they're still kind of there. Denshi and Power, fuck off with the screws.
Yeah,
What
okay.
screws?
I was gonna say, as far as Kabene goes, like she has screws and they are tightened, but they get loosened very easily.
She can go very quickly between having them loose and having them tightened.
Stop talking! Ooh! Ooh! Oh, there are 2 paths before me, gentlemen.
Yes.
Oh crap, I walked into an innuendo, didn't I?
Oh, you walked into such a fucking innuendo. She can loosen and tighten as she fucking sees fit. And I know people would be all about that.
Oh darn. I did it again.
Oh boy, you stepped on the horny rake, my friend.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
The internet already did that for Kabene a few months ago. For what?
Yes,
I don't know, what, last year.
Komeni doesn't deserve to be fucked. She deserves to get sweet, passionate love making too.
To which the one last thing I will say about Arai is I feel a little bad for him. Like he's really got a thing for Himeno, but he's in the wrong show for that. So
Yes,
poor guy.
I feel like this is the most prominent role I have seen Jared Green in, and it is still some guy who gets ganked within about 3 episodes of being introduced.
And actually, I think Jared's also the script supervisor of this, by the way.
I mean, I've got the impression acting is not his primary job. That's why he shows up playing a lot of like growly monsters and stuff.
But he's really funny, and he's really good in this.
That's almost what's a shame. He's a good actor. I wish he got cast in more prominent things. Like, he's very talented. I'm assuming this is a lack of interest on his part.
Yeah,
that's a guess. I don't know.
I mean, if I try to think of like a major thing, have you seen Hinamatsuri?
No, is he in that?
Oh my god, holy
he's
shit, Amon, you need to watch Hinamatsuri.
Yeah, I know.
He's one of the 2 lead characters in that show. He plays.
Oh, good.
He plays the Yakuza man who.
Is he the blonde dude?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, good for him.
Amon,
Yeah,
you
Yakuza
fucking
dude who
you
drops
live
his
and
name.
breathe Yakuza games.
I know I'm gonna like Hinamatsuri one day.
Okay.
One day.
I like Arai. He's a good boy. Jared is very funny as him, and I love his interactions with all the other characters, especially when he's either freaking out or about to lose it. I also think he gets a very sweet moment when he is helping Denji through the most traumatic moment of his entire life so far.
Yep.
He's like, yeah, my mom came home drunk, and this is my technique for helping her get the puke out. So I'm here for you, buddy. That was rough. Like, that was... I'm kind of glad I'm not you right now. So yeah, Jared Green's really good. Holy shit, Bren.
Yeah.
And, she gets in there so much. She gets to display so much anxiety. It's really fun to it. I didn't want to like immediately jump to this, but we talked a lot about like how good the script is. I am really amazed that she got to sincerely deliver the line, "I know what you are."
God, the fucking "I know what you are" is like genuinely the funniest thing in the show. All the while she
is that the one where she screams that and then Power immediately responds incorrect?
It's basically where she runs at Arai with the knife, where she's getting paranoid that like it's all Power's doing, and then he's like, "You're working with them. You're Arai the spy." And then she runs up to him and screams, "I know what you are!" It's like, oh my god. My favorite thing is nothing describes how terrible Power is. Where it's like, Kobeni is literally crying, where it's like, I'm not here because I wanted to be. I'm here because my parents want me to support my brother who's actually gifted. So I had to get a job. It was either I join public safety or I become a sex worker. As she's crying her little eyes out, and Power is laughing at her with glee. It's like, look at her fucking face! It's so good! Power's the worst, and she's the best at being the worst.
It's really amazing that you can somehow make a moment like that feel kind of, if not like laugh out loud funny, you can at least see the dark humor in it.
It's such dark humor. It's so dark, but it's so fun. Sometimes dark is really funny.
Kobeni also gets the other best dark humor line in the show, which is after she has the knife against Akane's neck and they've gotten rid of the ghost devil. Naki's, like, why'd you stick around? She just sheepishly says, bonuses are just around the corner.
It's such a... I think I love that whole scene is like, everybody else is dead. And they literally show one of the only survivors from the drinking party who's there reporting to Makima, and he's like, I am giving you my resignation letter. Bye. And it's like, okay, not only have we shown people can drop like flies, you have shown, okay, there is no loyalty. There is just genuinely, I want out. This is not worth it. And she's there because it's like, yeah, I'm making good money.
Capitalism!
Oh, God. Somebody's going to be like, Chainsaw Man's not political. Stop making it political. How dare you make it political?
Oh.
All you One Piece fans are fucking delusional, by the way. This may or may not be a call-out post to that one podcast where they were laughing at their guest for saying One Piece was political, despite the fact that it so fucking is!
Guys, don't you... Luffy's favorite movie is RRR because it's about his two favorite things, friendship and overthrowing the government.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anyways...
Where were we going with this? All right, Bryn's good.
I think we were just riffing on Bryn's really good. Like she's Kobeni's a cute lady. Sometimes it's more like I want to protect her. She's cute than anything, but like she does the oh, look at her in her nice little beret and out and drinking outfit side of her. And the closest thing to a complaint I have is that in that initial scene where they figure out what's going on at the hotel where Kobeni just screams, the Japanese actress definitely hits it a lot harder, but I'm sure that's hard on the vocal cords, so I'm not, that's,
I would say the I know what you are immediately makes up for it.
That completely makes up for it. It is just like, this person is not stable.
I also gotta give...
not be here.
I also really gotta give a shout out to episode 9 as the... Wait, Kobeni has a cool moment? Oh my god, Kobeni has a cool moment. I've read the entirety of Chainsaw Man. I totally forgot Kobeni gets a cool moment.
I feel like if you're like watching that for the second time, I think you forget that part of the surprise is that she's not dead.
Yeah.
Like the assumption, because they cut back to the aftermath of her and Arai getting attacked. There's just a blood stain. There are no bodies left. The assumption is she's dead.
It's that, no, there's Arai's body. She is missing.
Arai's body and she's not there. But there's like, presumably something bad.
Arai is dead, and then they show her literally like hyper speeding behind the old lady and capping her.
Yep.
And then, like, running with the knife and doing the cool parkour thing, cutting off the Katana Man's thing, and, like, using Denji as a shield because she knows she has, like, incredible instincts. But she's also there genuinely sobbing at the fact that she just watched somebody close to her die, and she feels like she's about to lose her fucking mind. She's gonna lose something.
Kobeni is physically maybe the most impressive person in public safety, and mentally should not be within 1,000 fucking feet of public safety.
Yeah.
For her own good.
She is their exact perfect candidate.
Yep.
She is broken enough. She is powerful, broken, and desperate enough to stick this out.
Yeah, pretty much.
And fuck, Bryn's great.
Yeah, and one last thing I will say, just generally speaking, it is not. It is simply not an easy thing having to play a character where you have to scream a lot of your lines. That can be pretty difficult, and it can be especially difficult to act that sort of thing really well. And Bryn does that real good.
Precious cinnamon roll, too pure for this world.
But someone who's not. I was someone who's not quite a cinnamon roll guy.
Oh, okay. No, she is a cinnamon, but it's spelt S-I-N.
That's actually not where I was going. I was about to jump to Kenshi.
Oh. Oh, that's even funnier. Oh, shit. Oh, that's...
Yeah, I was about to say, like, nah, he's not a cinnamon roll. He's like a day old. Like, maybe like a donut that's a few days old.
He's a
He is.
bagel.
He is a...
Yep.
He is a stale bagel. He is a stale cinnamon... Okay. God, what the fuck? How do I describe this?
He's a stale Danish.
Is there even anything sweet left? Is it just all... Is it just all crust?
He might. Sweet.
I mean, he does admit that he kind of like finds Denji power.
He's the stale Danish that was left in the break room, and that one weird guy basically went in with a spoon, scooped out all the cream cheese, and it's just still there.
Oh my god. Wow. I think we have a winner, yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Kishibe. I'm gonna say this. I remember Kishibe's kind of a cool, weird dude. I forgot how fucking deranged he is. And I think I think a lot of credit needs to go specifically to Jason Douglas. Playing him with that level of... I need to shout out the fact that this is Beerus.
Honestly, like, this is the exact character you would cast Jason Douglas as. This is just like, yeah.
This is... How do I describe it? Like, in any other shonen manga, this is old, weary master, maybe with a little bit of hope in his eyes. He's been a little burnt out, maybe has a tragic past, but, like, he loves and believes in his students, and they give him a new, like, perspective on life. Lease on life, yes. Where he's like, I've had Denji in power for a day and a half, but if anything happened to them, I would kill anybody in this room and myself. That's not what happens. He takes joy in curb stomping these puppies.
That bit of where he talks about how he always used to break his toys when he was younger.
And he's like...
and it's nice to have toys that don't break.
And it's like, this is a hero? This is... Yeah? No, this is not a hero. This is actually a broken man.
I really do love the explanation for, like, how he came up with his training method. Like, I was really drunk one. Like, I was trying to figure out how to train you guys, and, like, I was drinking. And then it came to me while I was, like, really hot, while I was really drunk. Like, like, I'm really strong. I just beat up you guys until you get as strong as me.
Which is brilliant. Brilliant. Also, he is apparently early 50s.
It's not as bad as I was thinking, but that's still,
I could believe if somebody told me he was like 45, like I would, like, most of the time it'd be like, oh, you're a fucking manga for teenagers. You think 45 is old. But this is like, oh, he got fucked. That's why he looks like that at 45. It's like, yeah.
Yep.
I think Jason sounds broken and drunk enough that makes Kishibe work.
Yeah.
He is a dude who's going through the motions because that's all he has.
Like, he has tenure. He has tenure, so nothing he can say or do is really going to change anything, but he's too good that nobody's going to actually fuck with him or remove him from his post.
And frankly, I think Jason Douglas was the best choice for this role because he is the guy who has done the sort of the weary horror television character in actual live action. Because he's been in The Walking Dead.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Huh.
He had a fling with Carol for, like, a few episodes. That was the thing.
So I saw the casting at the him posting the confirmation that he's playing Kishibe. It's just like, you know what? This tracks.
It's a very good fit. I feel like Jason's does good, like, kind of like weary, gruff old man. This is the weariest, gruffiest old man. I also love the fact that it's like, in any other moment, it's like, oh, this should be the cool guy moment. I like 3 things. Having sex with women, drinking booze, and killing devils. Where it's like, in any other in any other series, it's like, you're the cool guy. You're the badass. And he's literally leaning on them because he can barely hold himself up and use his brain cells. And he's, like, slurred and broken. And it's like, oh, this is kind of uncomfortable, actually.
Yeah, to which it is kind of funny that has been undercut by him just trying to choke them to death.
Oh, yeah, he literally just chokes them. And he's like, okay, so you're actually immortal. You're semi-immortal. So I can break you all I want. I have to be a little careful with her. Also, maybe the best training arc for the sole fact that Denji and Power's brilliant plan is to start using their brains instead of their instincts. So they bought glasses. Which is the funniest thing. It's so funny that they're like, we are using our brains now. We are on a whole other level. We're geniuses now. Buys a single pair of, like, $10 glasses with no frames. We're geniuses. Brainiacs. Nobody can stop us.
I remember when that chapter came out, and it ends with them being like, yeah, we need to get smarter. I can feel myself getting smarter already, and you can just hear the It's Always Sunny music playing over, like, the gang gets smart.
The gang tries to jump a drunk guy.
And they almost had him, too.
They're basically like, wow, you made me bleed my own blood. Good job. And then I love it. Oh, it's like the reaction to that whole thing is Denji going, "Hey," Power going, "Excelsior." which, God, I gotta shout out Jessica again. The old-timey speak for Power is choice. Very, very choice. We'll get more to that later. Jason Douglas is fantastic as this broken drunk. And he also gets a good F-bomb or two there, too.
And I think we're good to talk about the girl.
Oh God.
No, let's talk. Who do we want to talk about first?
I feel like we. Okay, that's a good question. I feel like we need to talk about Himino first.
Yes, agreed.
All right.
So, where do we start before we unravel? I know she's a red flag, but red's my favorite color, so what it do, baby? Before we talk about Makima, I know she's a red flag, but red's my favorite color, so what it do, baby? And then you're like, oh no, all of them are, she may be a red flag, but red's my favorite color, what it do?
No one in this series is dateable.
Everybody
maybe Arai before he died.
Everybody is fuckable. Almost nobody is dateable. Nobody is bring them home to mama.
I don't know, maybe if you got Kubeni a therapist, like, maybe. But she's kind of it.
As I've said before, Kobeni is not fuckable. She deserves a passionate, healthy, love-making embrace. That's not even me being horny. That's just me being like, oh, I actually, yeah.
There's a bit, if you've read or watched Monster, there's a point you hit where it stops being about, I want these characters to have a happy ending, and just starts being, I want these characters to be alive at the last episode.
Yeah.
Kobeni starts there.
Kobeni
you just want the pain to stop.
And unfortunately, she does not hit the finish line.
Wait, hang on. Are we talking about Kobeni or Himeno? Oh, we're talking about Himeno. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was talking about Kenny, but
I was confused.
Yeah,
I was like, wait, what?
For a second, I got extremely confused.
No, sorry. I was talking about Kobeni because we brought her up.
We're getting our
Himeno-
problematic women confused.
I also wanted Himeno to make it, but that is mostly because I thought it was so heartbreaking to read the chapter where Himeno and Denji become friends and have that immediately ripped away literally the next chapter. Like, you don't even get to enjoy it. Immediately taken away from you.
So
And that shit is heartbreaking.
Okay, there's a lot of layers for Himeno.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start with the simplest one to unravel. Himeno the flirt. Caitlin Barr is very
fun.
good at being a flirt and also sounding really motherfucking hot. Oh my god.
While I was rewatching the show, made a few comparisons, and I think you were the one who brought up the specific comparison. We're making some comparisons to Ava characters, and I think you were the one who specifically said she is basically a slightly more problematic Masato.
She is a even more problematic Masato, and then we were like, Masato's not that problematic. Oh wait, end of Evangelion. Never mind.
Yeah.
I think the difference is what is it? Misato is problematic, tone/dramatic. Himeno is problematic, tone/hilarious. If that makes sense.
It is hilarious and equally tragic in that she has adopted the full-on, like, work-life... How do I describe this? You know the Japanese office worker who knows this is all there is and this is all they have?
Mm-hmm.
So their entire life is just their work and the occasional socialization and a shit ton of alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
That is Himeno. She is here long enough that all she has is her work, her alcohol, and maybe the occasional one-night stands. But it's never the one-night stand she's actually wants. It's always the one she has to settle for, including the one with a 16-year-old boy. Which, Himeno the drunk is equally impressive, because, oh my god, she does a good job doing the slurs and making her sound trashy, and like, you don't even know what's going on.
She sounds so plastered, but like actually plastered.
Actually plastered,
like a
real drunk. And okay, fuck anybody who says fuck this adaptation. They add the whole scene of her bringing Denji home and her kind of just trouncing around through her entire apartment. That whole scene is incredible because it shows so much about who she is, about what her environment says about her, how she reacts and it says about her, and just how she reacts in this environment. It's perfect. It's incredible. It's really good stuff. I cannot describe to you the fact... Okay. Do you ever bite your lip when something's like not just like, oh, this is for a teenage boy to find tiddly. Like, no, this is actually really erotic.
Mm-hmm.
There's something in the way when Himeno's just like, you want to do it? Do what? Fuck. Where I was like, oh shit! Oh no! Oh no!
That was, they definitely knew what they were doing there.
They knew exactly what they were doing, and it's like, oh my god. And then he got saved by a lollipop. And then the next morning, after the most incredibly horny, uncomfortable, drunken, disaster, very illegal adult on minor shit, there's a shockingly adorable scene of them eating breakfast the next morning. And where she should be like, this is extremely awkward. Why are you still here? I just tried to fuck you, and I think I should be in jail for trying to fuck you. And he's like, oh, food's food. And then they kind of make this cute pack of like, okay, if you get with Makima, Aki's gonna stop trying to fuck Makima, which means I can get with Aki. So we're gonna help each other out. And then they're like, oh, yay, we're friends now. And then that doesn't last.
Nope.
You can tell. You can tell something's about to go down.
I also really need to... yeah, sorry.
Like, it's not one of those tangible, the show is spelling out that Himeno is doomed. But it is just this... It is just this existential, like, knot in your stomach.
The building dread.
Wow. I'm going to make a really kind of, like, weird but potentially appropriate comparison, but bear with me here.
Hit me.
Okay, this is going to sound weird, but if I think about Himo's treatment in season one, she is the May Hughes of Chainsaw Man.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, I mean, you're correct. You're exactly correct. Like, no, okay. That is a lot less weird than I was expecting. Did you think I was going to find it weird because Mace Hughes is not an older lady trying to fuck me?
I think...
I don't know why I thought that was going to be weird.
Look, Mace Hughes is a wife guy, but he's also a DILF, and you know there are people that want to fuck Mace Hughes.
Okay, look, the comparison is going to be either Mace Hughes or Rengoku, but, like, Rengoku is kind of the bad way to do that, so...
Gotcha.
Anyways, what I wanted to shout out... Oh, sorry, you're still doing your thing.
Yeah, it's just one of those scenes where it's just like, they don't telegraph what's about to happen, but you just, in your gut, know this is going too well. Shit is about to go down. And howdy does it.
I also really need to shout out her actual dramatic chops with her flashbacks with Aki.
Yeah.
She really cared about Aki. Genuinely so. One of my favorite moments is the moment where she realizes, I care about him so much, I can't watch him die. Like, there's that moment where she's just, like, literally just kind of freaking out, where she's like, oh no. Oh no. It's just like, oh no. I really care about this suicidal idiot. I can't watch him die. And she's basically like, I would rather go first than deal with the pain of losing him. And in that regard, she gets her wish. It's painful, it's fucked up. And also, I need you to start smoking because I need somebody to talk to. Is a very Japanese businessman thing, and it's very... I also think it's extremely incredible cut. Okay, this will be my first and last cigarette. I could really go for a smoke right now.
To which I'm pretty sure it is. It's been a little bit since I reread that part of the manga, but I'm pretty sure they added a little something to that scene that wasn't in the manga but feels very appropriate. To which they added an extra bit to that scene.
Oh yeah.
Like an extra bit to that conversation where Aki's about to take the cigarette, and
then she's like, "Wait, are you a minor?" And it's like, "Oh my god, Himeno, you need to check this stuff before you jump on that."
And then she says, "Okay, I'll take it back for now, but I'll let you have it when you're ready for a good addiction."
And then that's the context for the easy revenge cigarette. Yeah, that wasn't there, was it? That's actually a nice little addition. Why the fuck do people say this is a bad adaptation? What the fuck are you smoking?
Because they're. I mean, we can talk about that, but do we want to?
God.
Nah.
These people's idea of a good adaptation is so rigid and narrow that it is basically useless.
And it's like, look, there are things that the anime doesn't do as good as the manga. That is true. I think Fujimoto is kind of a master of comedic timing.
But I put it this way: I think there are definitely things the manga does better, but a lot of those are baked into the basic differences in what you can do in a static visual medium versus a perpetually moving visual medium. And while they are worth talking about the quality of which is better is going to have a lot more to do about what you personally find interesting in that context rather than like
it is
what basically amounts to is comics inherently superior to animation.
It's all about presentation of the story, and this is still a very good, very strongly done presentation of the story. And speaking of presentation, hi Makima. Fucking Christ. So, Suzu Young needed to do two things. She needed to be very warm, sweet, and inviting. And also extremely fucking terrifying. And she nails both. She nails both. Makima is such an interesting character, but I think it's very clear that she's got some stuff going on with her. And even if she is kind of like the friend and ally right now, her power is unbelievably terrifying, and they make it unbelievably terrifying. As well as her abilities to get what she wants. Where she's like, I need 30 life sentence prisoners at the highest altitude, and I need them blindfolded. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Yeah, to just kind of an aside, but I will say, like, reading the manga for a long time. Having read the manga from the beginning, when I was imagining what Makima was going to sound like, I figured she was going to have a much deeper voice than she did in, like, other language, so I was kind of surprised for something softer, but I think it definitely works in both instances.
I think the softness is what's supposed to kind of, like, disarm you. And I think that's exactly what they're going for, is that the softness and the sweetness is what drags you into the honey trap.
I feel like a chunk of the show doesn't work if you don't get why all these people are so into Makima. Like, what? When...
I would just say no to her, you say. You absolute fool. You absolute fucking moron.
You need to be in a position where there's some bit in, like, it's an episode like 3 or 4, I think, where Aki is going to meet with Makima, and he's about to knock on the door, and he, like, stops, like, goes over to the window and makes sure he's looking nice. He, like, adjusts his tie. I want to say he, like... Just,
yeah,
like,
he literally, like, stops to make himself, like, look more kempt.
And, like, you need to... And, like, when you hit that point, you need to exactly understand why Aki would even bother fucking to do that. And... I mean, she's great.
Oh, incredible.
She does a wonderful job of being so warm and inviting, and also when she gets off the train and says, "Oh, don't worry, it's not my blood." It's like, oh, I don't like this. This is bad.
Oh, it's like, you are our ally, and it's like, oh god, that's what you're able to do? Holy shit.
The casualness with which she says some of these.
Anyways. But yeah, also, the Yakuza guys, where she's like, hey, can you give me the names of these guys? As well as the names of everybody in the Chinese and Soviet syndicates? And he's like, are you out of your fucking mind? that's gonna cause a fucking war amongst all of the gangs. What the fuck are you? Here's a bag. Take a look inside. I'm not gonna take your money. Whatever money you're just like, oh, that's not money. Those are the eyeballs of every single person you know and love. Don't worry. They can be reattached, but only if you cooperate. And it's like, oh god, that's what we're working with here. That's what happens when you cross Makima.
What's the coldest thing she says? Is it that, or is it when after the guy quits and asks, like, did you know about this? And she just responds, I'm sorry, you're not a member of public safety anymore. I can't tell you that.
I think that one's colder because that one's more disrespectful. Because that's like, you knew that this attack was coming, didn't you? And it's like, I'm sorry. I don't speak to no bitch-ass quitters. I like how it's like, this guy is not going to get... Like, she's not going to off this guy. It's that the fact that he is no longer part of her agency means he means nothing to her anymore. He's not even worth it. And it's like, oh, that's colder because that was a friend and a drinking collie a day ago. And God, Susie is very... Like, that's what it is. Makima is pretty hot, charismatic, and absolutely disarming and unnerving. And Susie Young nails all of that.
Oof. Does she ever?
Yeah, she really was a fantastic casting choice. Really looking forward to what she gets to do in the future, because she gets to do quite a bit.
Same.
Because boy, does the manga go places.
All right, Jenna, do we have any more thoughts about any of this set of characters?
All I really have to say is Susie Young did good. Very intimidating Makima. Thumbs up.
10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 would try to stay very far away from, but there's probably no use doing that.
And I mean, I would have more to say about the performance of Makima, but that stuff is gonna come later.
That's what we have of right now. Oh yeah, they know. She's good job.
It's a good, solid foundation for what's to come.
And on that note, let us move to our leads.
I need to talk about my idiot squad.
Oh yes.
I love all of these idiots.
We have our protagonists without whom none of this would be necessary.
The three amigos!
First up, we have the man of the hour. Everyone's favorite little blonde guy. Is Denji. No last name. He has the worst life. Science has proven it. It's terrible. Absolutely awful. But, hey, he's doing better now. He has everything he could possibly need. He has a place to sleep and 3 square meals a day.
He died and he got better.
Yeah, he died and got better. But at what cost?
His little buddy. His
Yeah,
little baby Blorbo.
His little baby Borbo.
His little Scribblo.
Who we will talk about in this section. Little Pochita, who has remained the mascot for this series despite being dead after chapter 1.
It is both equally cruel and equally hilarious that, like, the mascot dog is there for an episode and is gone for, like, almost the entire rest of the series, but he's so cute and marketable that, like, everybody knows and loves it, the little dog.
Literally only there to be only around long enough to qualify as a mascot character and then immediately disposed of in the most traumatic way possible.
Denji, whatever you do, don't make me a marketable plushie.
I don't think I have any say in that, buddy. But also here, we have the smartest of the idiots, because he's dumb in different ways. We have Aki Hayakawa, one of about 5 main characters who has a last name. He is extremely serious. He has very little regard for his own life and safety, and he makes bad choices. But then everyone in this show makes bad choices, so that's just par for the course.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, everyone get your horny fan art out. It's the lady of the hour. It's Power.
Okay.
Yeah.
God.
To which
There is nothing funnier to me than seeing like a horny figure, which is Power, in like this very tight little like thong that some bootleg horny figure company made. And like there are some people who are into that, but everybody else is like, she canonically does not wipe her own asshole.
to which, there's a lot that can be said about Mappa, and they make some very terrible business decisions. But the fact that someone there was smart enough to say, what we should do? We should make a figure of Power on the toilet. The fact that someone with galaxy brains enough to do that is just like,
God.
Well done, sir.
I feel like there's someone at Mappa at least understand that there is a subset of Power fans where the fact that she is just the grossest is part of the appeal.
So
and their money is just as good as anyone else's. Nothing
has both broken my brain and explained every single thing about a character like the discovery that the biggest influence for creating Power's character was Eric Cartman from South Park. It's so unbelievable to hear that like the main girl, like the shonen trio is like a very sacred template, and like the main girl of the shonen trio template is based off of Eric fed Scott Tenorman's parents to him, Cartman.
Yep.
What times we live in.
I
love Fujimoto because you can always pull out some point of reference that is both decently insightful and also just vaguely cursed.
It's cursed, and then it's like it makes all the sense of the world. Who plays these people?
Well, I'm glad you asked. From the bottom, Puchita, for all 5 lines he has, is being played by Lindsay Seidel, who is known for such roles as Gabby Braun in Attack on Titan the final season, who apparently is a big fucking deal. I'll find that out one of these days, I guess. Ichiko Rokujo in Kakushigoto, and Nightfall in Spy Family. Power is being played by Sarah Wiedenheft, who is Maz in Aka 13, Michelle Watch in Blood Blockade Battlefront, and Zende Nabaten in Listeners. Aki is being played by Reagan Murdoch, who is Mitsuki Akika in Actors Song Connection, Rufus Glenn in Mars Red, and Lenny in Takt OP Destiny. And Denji is being played by Ryan Colt Levy, who is Rubel Hosen in Housing Complex C, John H. Watson in Moriarty the Patriot, and Andro M. Jazz, and welcome to Demon School Irma-kun.
Yay, you brought up Irma-kun, thank you.
In my defense, he appears to have been in about 15 things prior to this. Maybe 5 of them have named roles, and this is the only one I actually recognize because I edited this episode. So, and I know you like Irma-kun, so.
Yeah, thanks, bud.
I was about to say there's a very real chance that would have attacked you if he did not mention that character.
I also think it's worth mentioning because Jazz was literally his first anime role. It was his first like anime role. And it's worth mentioning because that was exactly that was like 3 years ago. So in case you want a good template of from then to now, Jazz from Irma-kun was Brian's first anime role.
Jesus Christ, man, good for you.
Hot damn.
let's see. Since the most minor of minor, let's. What do you think about Lindsay's very brief performance as Pochita?
I want to take a second to brag about the fact that literally somebody on like the Crunchyroll Discord was like, who do you think is gonna play Pochita in the dub? And I literally just threw out. Literally, I had nothing to base it off of. I was just like, who can sound cute? Lindsay Seidel. And I was right. It was the first guess. It wasn't even like the third or fourth. It was literally the first name I thought out of a hat. I was like, Lindsay Seidel could be a good Pochita. And I was right. And I wanted to archive it and brag about it. Because all I can talk about is she borks good, and she makes me feel ooh-woo about the cute little puppy dog that basically is ready to sacrifice its life. Because Denji loves that little dog and was like, I'm gonna die a miserable death. I want you to steal my body and live a happy life. Wait for the body to get buried. Then you can do what you gotta do. Live your own life. Live the life I never could. And Pochita's just like...
just replies, nah, bruh.
Here's a new plan. You get my life. You show me your dreams. I always like to see you talk about your dreams. And it's like, oh!
Yeah. I say, yeah, they got to make their own cute little contract. This may or may not be born later.
It genuinely is cute, and Lindsay's adorable. Pochita's such a good little fucking dork blorbo. He's a little scrimblo blimblo. What? Wait, is it Scrimblo or Scrunko? I'm trying to remember how that.
Scrimbo.
I think Scrimblo Bimbo is the one I've heard. I think Scrunklo might be its own.
Oh wait, no, it's Scrimbo. It's Scrimblo Blimbo, your favorite Scrunko from the video game 20 years ago. That's what it was.
Which you definitely wanted Smash Bros over, like anime RPG sword fighter, because people get really mad if you have those.
It is so. God, every now and then you're like, man, I hate that I am so online that I understand how this compilation of things has gotten together. Like, every now and then you see one of those tweets where it's like, this is three levels deep, and I understand all of this, and I hate it.
The only moment where you regret your life choices.
Pretty much.
Really, I think all I have to say about Lindsay Seidel's Pochita is, it's great. Buckle up.
Yep, it's great. She gets to make nice little barking sounds, and I felt sad when she gave Denji the speech.
She is so cute. I've already said my piece that I think a lot of the people complain about how this is an adaptation or dumb. Like, this has 15 minutes to make you care about this dog. And god damn it does that.
I also love I love Pochita's head empty face when Denji is using him as a weapon, and he just has the little, like, 3 face on at all times. Just no thoughts, head empty.
No thoughts, chainsaw burr.
Precious.
And it's great that, like, when in those shots, Pochita is, like, CG and sticks out.
Okay. Nope, not gonna go for it, not gonna go for it, not gonna go for it. The CG in this anime is fucking fine, you people need to shut up. Okay, never mind, I went for it.
In your defense, you are correct.
You are very correct.
Let's see. Shall we talk about power?
I was actually going to debate if we should go to power or Aki next. I feel like there's an argument for either or.
I would say within this batch of episodes, Aki has slightly more to do. So
fair enough, but also holy fucking shit, Sarah Wiedenhef. Oh my god.
Yeah.
So like, we are no stranger to talking about Sarah Wiedenhef. I think one of the first anime roles Sarah Wiedenhef like got that in like a major way was a Mike McFarlane dub. And it was a little show called Grimgar of Fantasy and Ash.
Which
Sup, Patrick and Jet?
Which may or may not be important to the history of this podcast.
May or may not be important to the history of this podcast. So yeah, and that was like 6-7 years ago? Oh my god, that was...
What is time?
Fuck me. Anyways, what I'm saying is we've been following Sarah Wiedenhef's career pretty closely for the early parts of this podcast, back when we were in double digits instead of triple.
Mm-hmm.
This is kind of like a career-defining performance. It's not only just that Sarah Wiedenhef is good at playing gremlins. Like, Sarah Wiedenhef is very good at playing anime gremlin, which you're aware of what they sound like. They maybe have like funny teeth and funny mouths and all that, but they're kind of like little chaotic beings and kind of little shit kids, but also sometimes maybe in like that kind of uwu anime way that's still like, you could call her a waifu and it's marketable plushies and figures and all that. You know what? You know where I'm going at with this?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Power is like 50% the royal wee ye oldie spelled OLDE time like speak in the body of like your shitty sister that like steals all your stuff and blames you for everything and is like bored and will sometimes fucking wrestle you and call you a bitch.
Yeah, Twitch. Yeah, Twitch. I mean, we already made one anime joke today. I'm not gonna make another one. Like, I feel like Power. Okay, I know that Eric Hartman was a specific influence, but I also kind of feel like Fujimoto went. He took a look at Asuka and said, "What if I made Asuka, but I made her as literally unmarketable as humanly possible?"
The irony of making something so unmarketable is to make it even more marketable in reverse.
What if the tsundere was just Soon?
I don't
No
even
dairy.
think okay. Power's not a fucking tsundere.
No, that's my point. What if there's no dairy? It's just Soon. She's just aggressive and hateful.
I think like that's what
I don't know if I'm using the words correctly, but you get what I mean.
I think you were in fact using those very incorrectly. Where you're getting at is, oh no, she is not like a secret. Power cannot hide her feelings because Power cannot hide her feelings. Everything she thinks everything she says, and she says everything she thinks. And she does everything she feels like doing.
I know the mimetic shirt for her to wear is that like 78.1 shirt or whatever, but the real one she should be wearing all the time is one that just says what you see is what you get. There's no subtext to Power. She's that.
I feel like
all the time.
I feel like Power would you know those really edgy Vegeta knockoff t-shirts where it's like there's only one place in hell for me and it's called a throne. Power would wear those fucking shirts.
She would love those shirts.
She would fucking love those shirts. But I think that's the thing I love is that Power is like, it's old. I don't. You know what I mean? Where it's like old timey speak, where it's like, hark.
It's that thing you see where like the pretentious Chuny kid tries to talk fancy.
Oh my god, it is. It's like the Chuny kid, but it's like I believe she is probably actually that old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's much funnier if she just.
Oh
sorry,
god,
what?
I was gonna. Oh god, Power. Oh no, I don't. Yes, let's go with it. Fuck it. Power is like all those people who are into those like 1,000-year-old lollies that look like they're like 14 or 15. But, like,
You're just because you're correct doesn't mean you're right.
but it's also like, oh, you're a fucking. She's a menace. She is actually a menace. She's actually mean and terrible and like kind of a bitchy asshole.
It's really amazing that she's actually not introduced, but at one point Denji just simply says, "Oh man, she's terrible and racist."
Like, there's literally a moment where, like, Himeno's filling in Denji, where it's like, okay, so everybody is broken, Aki's on the verge of breaking, and Power is, and then she goes on a whole thing where it's like, I've come up with a genius idea. What I'm going to do is I'm going to kill the Prime Minister, and I'm going to become the Prime Minister, and then I'm going to induce a 100% sales tax on every single citizen in Japan, and rule the world. And he's just like, oh no, she's always like that. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
To which Power gets a lot of funny moments in the show, but I do appreciate that Sarah does get to dial it back a bit for Power's one moment that is kind of close to something human when she's talking about Meowie and the whole relationship she formed with her.
I love every single thing about her relationship with Meowie. I love every single thing about how that is presented. It is genuinely cute, genuinely sweet. Like, they literally show her as, like, a violent animal. Where she's just, like, literally just decapitating animals and drinking their blood. And then she just kind of sees, like, this scrawny, sickly cat. And she's like, I mean, I could eat you, but, like, you're like a toothpick. This is uncomfortable. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna fatten you up, and then you'll be a nice, juicy meal. And then you see, like, the sickly little stray cat become, like, a big, chunky, fluffy boy that's just actually, like, loafing on top of her with, like, love and affection, and she's just like, huh. It's so strange to hear a pleasant voice that isn't screaming. What is this feeling? And it's like, oh, you fell in love, you stupid bitch! You fucking fool! You fell in love, you idiot! It's a genuinely sweet, touching moment. It works! Because it makes Power... What makes Power work is that she is a bitchy, humanish, asshole, selfish monster. And that is the most human thing, is that she falls in love with a cat. It's perfect. It's incredible. It's good drama, and it's just very, very funny. And she just has incredibly funny lines and deliveries. I love how it's like literally before the most tragic thing to happen in the series. They're just eating ramen, and she's like, "Speak, harlot, did you or Denji copulate last night or not?"
To which dialing back to a slightly different conversation around the show's direction. We're talking before about like how the show knows how to like do good titillation. To which the best example of this is the bit with Power where Denji finally gets his wish, versus the scene that follows that with Makima.
Oh god, the Power thing is so nothing. And even one of those is like a fake out where she's like, oh yeah, I wore a pad because I thought it'd make my boobs look bigger. That's one! And then she does it twice and then it's like, ah! Was that not incredible? Was that not the most amazing thing you've ever seen and felt? I'm glad I blew your mind. I bid you good night. I also just... Denji and Power are shit kid siblings. And I love that immensely. I love the fact that they are genuinely assholes to each other. Like, at one point, Power will be like, yes, let us kill Denji and feed him to that god. Okay. Hey, you want to wrestle?
They're that rare but really good example of like good platonic male-female relationship that you don't get a lot in these kind of comics.
Genuinely so. I actually be like, oh, yeah, you two are fun and adorable together in a charming, fun way, and a lot of that Sarah's delivery is just absolutely incredible. which, honestly, this conversation about Denji and Power being shit kid siblings is perfect to segue into Aki. There's something I want to say about Aki before we talk about everything else going on with Aki.
Mm-hmm.
There's this tweet I read a long time ago that says, any guy can become a baby girl. Only a real man can be a single mother. And that is Aki Hayakawa taking care of both Denji and Power.
I can't disagree with that.
Yep. I want to lead into that joke because there's a lot to talk about with Aki, and especially Reagan Murdoch in particular, which I feel was like... I was so excited to see Reagan because I really liked his role in Mars Red, where he played like an Irish vampire. But like, I was like, ooh, I want to actually see what he could do with something like this. Like, this is gonna be a breakout for him, and I'm very happy to see what they did. So, Amon, I remember we were talking way back when, where it's like, there are some people who thought Aki sounded a lot deeper than they were expecting him to sound.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you mentioned there were people you knew who don't really give a shit about this whole subs versus dubs thing, and were like, I actually really prefer how Aki sounds. I believe this man is a smoker.
Yes, this is no shade against Aki's Japanese actor. He is very good, but he is a seiyuu. That man does not smoke. He doesn't sound like he smokes. And strictly speaking, Reagan doesn't sound like a smoker either, but there is a gruffness to his voice where it's like, yeah, this is definitely a guy who, like, smokes.
Yeah, there's definitely
Like,
at least some plausible deniability there.
There is a roughness to his voice that I think works really, really well for Aki. And like my friend again, like they're I do not think they're against dubs, but like generally speaking, they will just watch things in Japanese because if nothing else, that is often what is available in when it's first airing. But they really enjoyed Reagan's performance. I believe specifically they watched a clip of the bit where he has beat up Denji in the alley and is like explained to him. It's like, just leave now, you fucking loser, and then like chucks the cigarette on him and then spits it out.
Oh, it's incredibly disrespectful. It's like, and then gets stomped in the nut. He gets kicked and stomped in the nuts.
That was the moment I knew I was going to like Chainsaw Man, just because, at least as long as I've been reading things in Jump, I'm like, Jump protagonists don't kick people in the balls. That's not a thing they do.
It's not noble, it's not honorable, it's not cool, and it's like, Denji doesn't care. He grew up on the streets with not a penny to his name, working for the mafia. He doesn't give a shit.
The most like juvenile delinquent protagonists I can think of that I've read in Jump are like Yusuke and Ichigo, and it's like, they wouldn't kick someone in the balls.
It's like they are punks with a moral compass.
No, Yusuke definitely would. Ichigo, I don't think so.
I understand Yusuke would, but he wouldn't. He has too much. He wouldn't only kick them in the balls.
Josuke
Denji only kicks
some
you in the
level
balls.
of pride.
Josuke wouldn't kick anybody in the balls. He would kick Rohan Kishibe in the balls.
Rohan deserves it, so that's fine.
God, have you ever watched Diamond is Unbreakable?
No, I have not. I have not seen any part of JoJo's that has Rohan in it. All I know is the joke seems to be that Rohan is Araki's obvious self-insert, and he seems to suck on purpose, which feels like a joke that Rocky is making for us, the audience.
God, Rohan is such a selfish asshole. Like, it's great, and he hates Josuke so much. There is literally a part in Diamond Unbreakable where it's like, his house is literally burning down, and it's like, I don't care about that. I need to know how Josuke is cheating me in this gambling game.
God damn it.
Anyways.
So
Aki.
I I have a question for you.
I have a potential answer.
Conceptually, if Reagan, you know how they make those CDs that are like your fake mean boyfriend who says things to you?
Fake me? What?
Have you seen these? Yeah, they're like, I've seen them. They're like, it's just like it's a dialogue CD of like kind of like half a conversation of someone like talking to you. It's a thing. They're sort of like ASMR stuff, basically.
I was gonna say, I understood the concept of like an ASMR video, and you mentioned it being a CD, and it's like, oh god, that's the generational gap right now, isn't it?
I think they're probably mostly online now, anyways. If Reagan made one of these, do you think he'd make $1 million or $1 billion?
Jesus Christ.
He'd probably make it.
That's an interesting.
I can't fathom the number of people who probably want to have sex with Reagan's voice after the show. he is. I mean this the most complimentary way possible. I cannot think of a better voice for Aki. Just period. Like, no, that is how he should sound.
Oh, I was not expecting you to be like, oh god, his voice sounds so fucking hot.
If Aki is your type, that feels like the bow on top of like. Oh, no.
It's not the bow on top; it's the top knot on top.
Okay, yeah. It's not quite Keith David levels of that, but it is very close.
Like it's good.
It's got this right level of gruffness while also just the correct amount of dad is not getting paid enough to deal with your horse shit.
I think the thing I like most about it is, like, he plays Aki as so calm, cool, collected, and competent. But the longer he spends with those two idiots, the more he realizes they're stealing his brain cells.
Aki is the one that holds the brain cell, but I think that's what makes their whole dynamic work, especially the end of season 1.
Yeah.
Is Aki realizing, what's the point of being high and mighty? What's the point of acting like I am better than you? Fuck it. Shit sucks. Everybody's gonna die. I'm gonna kick a dude in the nuts with you. I better pop one before you do.
Yeah, to it again, slightly unrelated tangent, but I really do want to talk about this because something the anime was like literally under no obligation to do whatsoever. Like literally could have not done this at all, but they did it anyway for some reason.
Are you talking about the scene of his routine?
Yeah, the entire silent scene of him doing his morning routine.
It's perfect. It's incredible. It's so much minutes of characters doing things silently while showing off the place they live and the life they live is mise-en-scène and characterization without even saying anything about them. You know Aki's routine. You know Himeno's drunken shit routine. Without... It adds so much. And somebody's gonna be like, oh, that's filler. Suck my fucking dick! Character! Builds character! Establishes... Ugh.
There's more to anime than just recreating the exact paneling of the comic you read 6 months ago.
It's like if I wanted that, I would just read the fucking manga. Ugh.
Some people.
Reagan Murdoch. I'm so happy to see him as Aki, because he's got the right level of, like, gruff. I like that he's gruff and tries to seem cool and mature, but I think the thing that makes Aki work is that he's also petty. He's petty and childish sometimes.
Oh, you mean like his best moment in the show?
Yes, I genuinely think like my favorite moment with Aki as a character is his flashback with Himeno, and one of his partner's girlfriends slaps the shit out of her and walks away. And he's like, yeah, and she's like, yeah, scorned lovers come to me and take it out on me because they can't take it out on anybody else. And he's like, mad. He, like, walks away, and he's like, so I went up to her, I stuck gum on her clothes. She's gonna walk around her whole day, and she's not gonna realize that I stuck gum on her clothes, and she's gonna have a bad time. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. That, to me, is the difference of, like, somebody thinking Aki Hayakawa is the Sasuke Uchiha. He is meant to be that template, but that is the scene where it's like, oh no. This is a different character. And I love this character. This broken, pathetic piece of shit of a man chasing a dream he literally knows he'll never get and will kill him. Because he has nothing else. Learning to find joy and solace in just the little things. And Reagan Murdoch is a inspired choice for a character like Aki. I'm really, really pleasantly surprised by this. Absolutely deserves to be in more anime after this. Holy shit.
They better.
Yeah.
Considering my only reference to him, too, was the Irish vampire, which is like, I'm pretty sure that's not his actual voice now. Yeah. Yeah, no, he sounds great. He's fucking great. This is great.
Nice.
This is a career-making role. Good for him.
Speaking of which...
So here's a question.
Here's an answer.
What was the most high-profile thing Ryan had been in prior to this?
I would
My Hero
say
Academia
either
World Hero.
Iruma-kun or the
No.
Academia movie.
It
was
is
saying,
My Hero
well, My
Academia
Hero
World
Academia,
Heroes
sure.
mission. Straight up. I love Iruma. I'm not going to sit here and lie to your face and say it's a bigger deal than My Hero Academia.
No, I
It
wouldn't
was-
say that either, but at the same time, like, it is probably the role he has done the longest as an anime voice actor. Consistently long.
Fair enough. It is definitely Roadie Soul prior to Chainsaw Man.
Cool. Way to fucking go, Ryan.
Not only is this kind of incredible, this is kind of one of those stories where it's like... Everybody kind of tells you where it's like the dream role is kind of the impossible, unreachable dream, and it's like it's so good and you'll never get it. This appears to have been that dream role. And god fucking damn it, Ryan Colt Levy as Denji. I do not think there is anything bad I could say about this performance. In the slightest. Every one of these other ones where it's like, I could try, I could maybe find a little bit of a nitpick if I was being that guy. There's nothing wrong I can find in Ryan Colt Levy's performance as Denji. It has everything it needs. It has the kind of broken kid that came from nothing, learning to be a person, learning his own self-worth, while also being a weird, strange, broken kid dealing with all these emotions. He's a shit punk with a heart of gold. Well, actually, it's a heart made of chainsaw dog, but that's aside the point. And also, feral, monstrous, like, feral cackling laughter violence. It is compelling drama, it is compelling comedy, and it is compelling fucking dope-ass action. It is the whole package.
Yep.
More than anything, I'm so glad that Crunchyroll let Mike McFarlane open the auditions for Chainsaw Man. Because this is the perfect role. This is the perfect role. And like I've said, I really liked Ryan when I first heard him in Iruma-kun. I really liked him popping up in a bunch of other anime stuff. I'd be like, oh hey, yeah, Ryan's getting some stuff, cool. Oh, he's in that Moriarty thing. I really like that too. I was gonna watch that for I was gonna watch 2-3 episodes, and then Steph joined me, and it's like, oh, I watched all season 1. Okay, cool. I like Ryan Colt Levy, the stuff he's been doing. He's in Fate. He's in all the things now. He's in. God, I'm just gonna pull up the stuff. But God, actually, you know what? Somebody else should take. I'm gonna keep rambling. Somebody else talk.
The 2 best seconds in an anime dub the season Chainsaw Man came out was when Denji and Himino are talking on her balcony having breakfast, and she says something like, I don't quite remember the setup as, something like, oh, do you think you really have a chance with Makima? And he says yes, and it's like, that was beautiful. That was so prior to official casting.
I think I have literally seen at least a couple of people who were literally inspired to watch the dub just by seeing that scene.
Yeah.
Prior to the, sorry, continue.
I just wanted to say, while I was looking up other roles that Ryan has done, I wanted to let you know that there is an episode of Pop Team Epic Season 2 where both Ryan Colt Levy and Reagan Murdoch were Popoko and Peepamy.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Just incredible.
Wonderful. Prior to the official casting announced, I'm sure we all had our little discussions about who would we cast. And there plenty of good people were suggested for Denji. People who I have no doubt in my mind that would have turned in a wonderful job. Now that we are here, I can't fathom anyone else playing this character.
Yeah.
It approaches. I've heard a thing, a music critic I like talk about, where sometimes you encounter a song that is almost hard to talk about because it is so perfect, it almost becomes not actually boring, but it almost becomes boring just because I don't know what to say about it.
It's not that it's boring, it's that it's a boring discussion, because at some point it's you want the nuance or the complicated, there's this and that. It's what do you need me to say?
It's it's triple S tier status is so self-evident that anything I would say would simply be idiotic and redundant. Look at it.
I think the incredible thing is it's also one I don't think I even ever considered.
That's what's so beautiful about it. Was he? I don't think he was ever in the at least in our in our little friend group. I don't think he was ever in the discussion. I don't think he was on anyone's radar.
He
has come out and it's you are literally the perfect actor to play this role. Thank you.
I was making Dallas and California predictions about who I thought could play who or what. I never considered Ryan for Denji. And it's just heart and soul went into this, and you can tell it's a big moment. And yeah, absolutely fucking phenomenal work. It's funny. He gets so many good the delivery, the script is great, but so is his delivery on a bunch of the feral, unhinged shit that Denji says throughout the entirety of the show. But equally being heartbreaking, okay, I'm just gonna find some of the lines I wrote. It's nuts or nothing is incredible. Dude, that's me. When he says, when she says she's into Denji type boys, and he's just like, dude, that's me. I also need to shout out, after he beat the shit up out of Hayakawa, a testicle devil appeared and went ape shit on his nuts, ma'am. What other good lines did I get down here? Also, one of the more genuine, interesting, dramatic moments is when everybody's saying his dream is full of shit because he's got revenge or is doing it for their family, and he just wants to touch some tits. He's like, revenge this, save my family that. You all think you're hot shit because you have big goals, don't you? And it's just sometimes it's just a simple thing.
Yeah, I think the whole dream battle, why the whole dream battle speech specifically was Ryan had a very clear handle on the character even before then. But if that was where it's there's I literally can't imagine anyone else playing Denji now.
Yeah, I can't. It's. Oh, also, here's another good one. You ran like a little bitch, so no apples for you. Which I like that just incredible scene, which that Aki's in the hospital, and they are there to annoy him and steal his fruit. And he's like, I'm not heartless. Leaves him one apple, takes the basket.
My favorite part of that is the follow-up where he's like, you find out that while Aki is having his breakdown, Denji's just standing outside the door. It's like, oh shit, I went to go get my manga, but he's crying. I can't walk in now.
And he's kind of... I like how Denji's kind of at this point right now where he's having, like, a crisis. And he's like, oh god, am I not human? Did I lose something when I became a chainsaw man? I'm not going to worry about it right now.
There is something consistently funny about, like, Denji is so just emotionally underdeveloped that it kind of works in his favor.
It's like literally Aki's like telling him, how dare you not take this seriously? Would you be friends with the devil? Yeah, because I don't have any friends. And he's just kind of like stunned. He's like, oh.
I like the lead up to that where I think it's earlier in that scene, like, Aki is like, didn't you go to school? And he's like, no. And, like, Aki clears a moment of, like, that was not, like, he wasn't expecting him to be like, no, I've never been to school. And it's like, alright.
He's an extremely honest and earnest person, even if he is a chaotic, violent, horny mess. I will say this. I also really like the fight with him and the samurai sword guy, where he's like focusing in on his head, and he's like, you were focusing on my head. Should have gone for the legs, sucker. And he does the cool reveal where he's got chainsaw legs too. Great. This is great.
I think my favorite part of Hoover that he even doesn't. It's not even that he says sucker. He says sucker.
Yeah.
Sucker, yeah.
He's such a street punk. It's so wonderful.
I also see people that are like, why do you like Denji if he's just like this horny, pervy protagonist when you talk about how much you hate horny, pervy protagonists?
Okay, well, you see, unlike a certain great boy, Denji understands consent.
I think he does genuinely understand that it is boundaries, but also he kind of is learning about that. Like, I think it's like he's weird and horny, but he's also very clearly not, like, exaggerated anime horny, which is like, you know what that looks like. You've watched this shit.
To which I appreciate how, like, in his introduction, when he's, like, chatting with Bones, and he's talking about, like, what it would be like to have, like, a girl over in his place. He's not even talking about, like, oh, man, I'm gonna, like... He's not even talking like, oh, am I ready to burn so hard? It's like, no,
he wants to play video games and cuddle.
Like, the funny thing about him is that his horniness is, like, weirdly innocent. It's like, his dream isn't even to get laid, it's just to get to second base.
Pretty much.
Like, he can't conceive of anything more intimate than just feeling up a pretty lady.
It's horny in, like, the most Catholic way.
It's like he's just gone through puberty and he doesn't have a bigger conception of what his brain's trying to tell him. So it's just like the most, like, basic surface level thing because he can't conceive of anything deeper than that.
The entirety of the show is effectively watching a man who literally had nothing and was basically satisfied with scraps, learning that he could be a person and want more.
You're allowed to want things, Denji.
You are allowed to
right?
want. Like, his dreams are basically so simple and achievable, he gets them by, like, the first 3 or 4 episodes. That's why he has a crisis when he's like, I touched a boob. What the fuck else is there now?
Eternally thinking about that theory from early in the manga's run where people are like, is this series going to be about Denji, like, slowly ascending Maslow's hierarchy of needs? Just because he didn't understand there was another level to go up to until now?
Jeez.
Christ. But yeah, no, as been said, like, I think this entire trio, this is a fucking family. This is a motherfucking family.
Patrick, did you have anything you want to add? I noticed you've been quiet for a while now.
Well, I mean, Denji, for all intents and purposes, is a really complicated character. Even beyond, like, a lot of his stuff is a facade. He's a simple kid, but it's also just like he's figuring things out as he goes, and I really like that about the show. And Ryan Cole Levy actually does a really good job with that. Not only sort of the naive kid portions of it, but the bestial chainsaw man voice, the just being a dumb teenager as well. And if I recall correctly, there was the scene in which he barked, and that was great. That was funny.
Yep.
So
he gets the assignment.
I really don't have much in the way of notes for Denji because buckle up. All I can say is he did a really good job. It's a great foundation for what's to come. As I've said for a few characters before, buckle up.
Yeah, Ryan's perfect. Absolutely perfect. This is a fucking good dub, guys.
Oh my god, isn't it?
Yep.
Do we have any final thoughts that we haven't said yet?
Chainsaw Man.
It's
good. The controversial opinion is, hey, the Chainsaw Man is good. The anime is good. The dub is good. Is good. They did a good job.
So is very good. Great adaptation, even if people are being extremely annoying about it. Because I'll be honest. Because it's not even like I've been it's not even like I tried to hide it. I enjoy Chainsaw Man, but there was a point where I kind of struggled to kind of get what it was going for.
And in the early chapters, which this is the early chapters, I could get that.
So I can safely say that revisiting with the anime, so I don't want to say the anime has done a lot to quote unquote elevate the material because a lot of it was.
It makes you appreciate it more.
But I definitely do have a deeper appreciation of it with the way the anime executes on a lot of it, especially a lot of these stuff with the early part of Denji's character, and especially a lot of the extra stuff with Himeno. You can tell they really like Himeno a lot. So,
oh my god, the people animating those scenes were doing it with one hand, and it's like I can't even blame you.
Doing.
But yeah, it's one of those things where it's like it's the whole thing you were talking about with Raya before, where it's like, what more can you say without it just being repetitive? It's like, no, they everybody attached to this, the cast, the crew, the mixers, the editors, they knew the assignment. They studied and they aced it. Really, really did. And more than anything, I applaud the fact that they took chances and they basically just conceded and let Mike do the things he wanted to do. It's frustrating that not a lot of the directors still get that freedom, but it just sounds like if you let them do how they want to do it, they can make some damn good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There's a comment about creative freedom here somewhere.
Yeah.
I feel like this show in general is perhaps, especially during a period where I think there is anime has gotten so big globally, there is a general desire on the business end to play it safe all the time. Chainsaw Man, on all fronts, feels like a good example. They're no, if you let the people you trust do what they want to do, they will make something good and people will flock to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And really, this is probably one of the single most consistently well-constructed dubs of the post-merger Crunchyroll era.
They did a damn good job.
Mm-hmm. When I started reading Chainsaw Man, I liked it a lot, and kind of assumed it would probably run for about 2 or 3 volumes worth of chapters, and then immediately get canned for being too weird and insular for certainly the kind of mainstream audience you need to get to survive in Jump.
Yeah,
I've made this comment before, but it is honestly true. Like, the weird thing about, like, if you've read enough Jump, you will realize the weird thing about Chainsaw Man is not, oh man, I can't believe something like that ran a Jump. Like, no, stuff like that runs a Jump all the time. It's like stuff like that just normally doesn't survive a Jump.
It's not, the weird thing is not that it ran and Jump. It's that it not only survived, it's that it became a monster fucking hit.
Yes, this seed salad, like, its success continues to confuse me. If for no other reason that I am not used to things that feel like they are made for, like, me and a handful of other weirdos who care about, like sort of, like, art trash European cinema and stuff with a lot of, like, violence and gore in it. Like, this stuff is not commercially successful.
That's the thing
it's often on purpose it is not commercially successful.
That's the thing that... yeah, sorry.
Uh-huh. No,
I was gonna say, that's the thing that's amazing to me about Chainsaw Man. Never have I ever seen the art house manga auteur type peoples. Like, the types of people who read Vagabond and Goodnight Pun Pun and consider those, like, the manga masterpieces that, like, are so hard and, like, dense to digest. As well as the big shonen diehards where it's like, yo, Demon Slayer, Jujutsu Kaisen, all that shit is my favorite anime and all that. And it's the same... Never do you see those people overlap on anything. But for Chainsaw Man, they do. That to me is the most amazing thing to me. Is that you get the crazy art house people... and you get the crazy, like, shonen popcorn fans on the same page. And that page is revving like a motherfucking chainsaw.
Mm-hmm. It's amazing that something that feels like it was never made to appeal to anyone other than the author drawing it has gotten this much success. I'm not complaining, I don't know what to do with this information. It feels like I'm being tricked.
You feel like you're being punked right now, that the weird niche thing that only should be for you is the hottest, most mainstream thing in the world.
It's like if I woke up tomorrow and it turns out, oh, joke's on you. You know that Nicolas Cage movie, Mandy? That was actually the most financially successful movie of that year. And Mandy Mania is swaying the world. It's like, that can't possibly be true.
You're fucking with me, aren't you?
It's like, that's an obvious lie. Who do you think you're trying to fool? And yet somehow, it is true. Anyways, this anime is amazing. I can't believe it exists in the way it does. I can't believe this dub exists in the way it does. This all feels like it shouldn't have happened, and here we are.
Huzzah.
Amazing.
Nice.
Thank you for listening to our very long episode. If you'd like to listen to more of us, we are Dub Talk. You're probably listening to us on YouTube, where obviously you can find more of us here on our channel. Don't fall off the desk microphone. We're almost done. You can also find us on Podbean for the audio version, which is dispersed to various other podcast catchers, so you can check us out there. We also have a Ko-fi and a Patreon. The Ko-fi for if you want to make a little one-time donation, and the Patreon if you'd like to support us more regularly. Ooh, excuse me. And if you would like to do that, you can get yourself a little shout-out on the show, like this. Thank you for our $5 tiers, Megan and Mom's Dad, Michelle Travis, Julia W., and Victor Maybaroda. And thank you to our $10 tiers, Anthony Brown, Carly Lesticow, Crimson Echidna, Jacob Wilson, Jared Hawkins, Marissa Lenti, and Otako Anthony. If you'd like to watch the dub of Chainsaw Man, it is currently available, at least in the US, on Crunchyroll, and as of, I think, this week, on Hulu. So
I watched the first couple of episodes on Hulu. It is unbelievably funny that has the Funimation production card at the start of it.
Business is weird, man.
Like, fucking, it's so funny. It's apparently like that on, like, the Microsoft digital downloads of it, too.
That's so wacky.
I think it also does it with Blue Lock, but I can't remember. I've got them. I bought them digitally because reasons.
Legal stuff. Gentlemen, where can people find you on the internet?
Hi, my name is Andrew, aka Classy Spartan. You can find me over on Twitter at MangaMan9000, and you can follow other things I do, including Surreal Resolutions Anime Podcast O&A, where we talk about the latest in anime news alongside my Dub Talk co-host, Jet.
Yeah, that's me. I'm Chet. You can follow me on Twitter at @DivineNega. I will usually be ranting about anime or cartoons or like something. And whenever I'm not doing that, I'm also on Three Resolutions podcast of a day, and sometimes I write things for websites like Anime News Network.
Hey.
Alright, I'm Patrick, aka Roots of Justice. You can find me on the twitter.com at Roots of Justice, mainly retweet cute animal pics. Talk general fandom, it's a good time, you should come see me. Mad God review coming soon. I'm struggling to figure out a way to actually write it because that movie doesn't have very much of a cohesiveness to it, but when I figure it out, I'll post it, you'll read it, you'll like it.
How much do you vibe with clay horror?
So, at the end of episodes, I typically do a Patrick's Cool Thing of the Day. Tonight, it's not going to be a movie. It will be movies. Today, I would like to suggest, in kind of a fitting parallel to Chainsaw Man, the collective works of one Quentin Dupieux. A very weird French director who makes very weird French-style movies. You may recognize him as the director of that film about the tire that comes to life and blows people's heads up.
What?
Oh, Rubber.
What?
Yeah, it's a movie called Rubber.
I don't know why it was so hard to follow. He told you what the movie's about.
But in particular, my dad has turned me back onto his films because he did a bunch of them in the last, 3 years, and they are fucking weird and, spectacular. There's one called Mandibles, in which a couple of guys find, a dog-sized fly in their car, and they decide to train it and make money off of it.
That's beautiful.
There's one of them is about trying to find the perfect groan for a pain scene in a movie. And watch the trailer for his latest that's making the film festival circuit, Smoking Causes Coughing. It's a parody of tokusatsu films, and I shit you not, it is one of the funniest things I have seen in some time. I don't know if Smoking Causes Coughing has a distributor yet in the US. And a lot of his other films are basically scattered to the four winds. I think a couple are on Hulu, a couple are on Amazon. But, he is a director worth seeking out, and his films are great. So, I am recommending the films of Quentin Dupieux.
Do it, kids. It's good for you. Get some more cinnamon in your diet. My name is Amon. You can find me on Twitter at AmonDuelUS. I talk about movies and music and comic books and various other crap. I usually do a dusty old song. It was really hard for this episode. I have a lot of emotions about Chainsaw Man. It was hard to narrow it down. Initially, the first thing that came to mind was Chainsaw by the Ramones, which is a very nice song, but that's like a B-tier Ramones song. You want an A-tier Ramones song. Although, frankly, it occurred to me that the first Ramones album might be a good pick, because I feel like any album that can have both Beat on the Brat about beating up some shitty asshole you don't like, and also a song that is just Joey Ramone going, hey, I want to be your boyfriend, and it's actually kind of cute and innocent. Yeah, that sounds like Chainsaw Man, alright? But I decided to go something a little more thematically true, which is the song $40 by the Twilight Singers. It doesn't literally match up very well. I'm pretty sure that song's about selling drugs. But it has a sort of sad, debauched, but hopeful feeling about it. And also, it also directly compares its protagonist to a dog, which felt on point for the show.
Oh, that is extremely on point. That's funny.
Mangy dog without a collar feels like a very Denji appropriate lyric. So yeah, check that out. But also, I have a surprise for you. If you go down into the description, you will find links to a Spotify and a YouTube playlist that I am basically just calling the best of 1997. 1997 is the year that Chainsaw Man is set, so I've compiled a playlist of just nice music from that year. Fun fact, 1997 was a good year. OK Computer came out that year. The first Daft Punk album came out that year. a bunch of other really cool shit came out that year.
Holy shit.
So I will try and throw that together, and hopefully it will not necessarily be in its current state of 10 hours of unorganized music. Hopefully it'll be like 9 hours of organized music or something like that.
I'm told 1997 was cool. I was a literal baby.
I was 8 at the time, I believe. So I wasn't listening to any of this except like the pop radio stuff like the Mighty Mighty Boss Stones, but still. Anyway, so give that a listen. It'll be good for you. And with that, thank you for indulging us. And
Thank you.
Be sure to come back in a couple of years where if MAPPA make good on their threat to adapt everything Fujimoto has ever made, I will be leading some poor saps through the adaptation of Fire Punch, a series that no one except me will enjoy, and I will have so much fun.
God, I read the first chapter of that, and that was like, oh my god, what the fuck?
And that's
I look forward to going through
stop.
that slog with you.
It doesn't stop. It has the dumbest motivation I've ever read in a book, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
And I look
take a
forward
look
to the
back- I
point
take a
in
look
time
back
when
movie.
Don't Look Back gets adapted and we all have a cry.
Oh, Christ, yeah. And yeah, this has been a ton of fun. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Rock over Boston, rock on Chicago. Good night, guys.
Good night, and otaku on.
Otaku on that deva.
Attack run.
苦しまぬように惑う地獄など最高の正体感何もし